food poisoning, says Brittany. F. Ramos says, thank you, guys. Okay, big hug and a kiss to baby girl. Mike Laguantia Jr. checking in from Anderson Air Force Base. F. Ramos, Francis Tenorio Kitsu, former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez.
Bring back the sunshine. Bring back that sunshine. He's bringing back that sunshine. Uncle Carl Gutierrez brings it every time.
How about that? Brought it to Tokyo, and yesterday brought it to Luta, and points beyond. I think I know where the next stop is going to be.
Oh, yeah.
But I can't go.
No,
because it's like super, ultra, uber, highest level possible only.
Yeah, you need to have a suit.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, there's that.
You need a blue suit, Ray.
with the red shirt,
yeah,
and red tie like Trump. Anyway, Stickles is online.
Morning, Sticks.
Chris Frank, Eunice Mendiola, Bunker. I got Maria Duenas Perez, Johnny Atulai, and the crew checking in. And it looks like that's going to round out the guys on the Facebook side. I'll check out the YouTube after they've had a chance. Rico's already there. Bad Boy 671. We'll keep an eye out for Tiggo Biddies. Or what is it?
Wood Stroker.
Humongous?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Humongous and the Wood Stroker.
All mean the same thing.
Good
Anyway,
morning.
6:33. So thinking about, items in the table of content, stuff we might be able to get to. We'll talk in the next hour or so to Senator Jesse Anderson Lujan, who has introduced a measure at the legislature, Bill number 305, which he believes will resolve the issue over the hospital complex. I've read the thing a couple of times, and I'm not sure how it's going to accomplish that. So among the reasons why we need to talk to him. But what I do like about this measure is that it would provide mechanisms now for the development and financing plan for the new hospital or medical complex. It says that will be determined within 6 months of passage of this legislation, and construction of a new hospital or medical complex must begin no later than December 31st of 2025. So how are we going to work things out with GIDA? Will a 100% rebate on income tax liability and 100% use tax for 30 years be sufficient enough to attract somebody to come out here and do a BOT on a new hospital? And how, I suppose, this would also paint kind of the government into a corner where they would have no choice but to allow that third party to manage said hospital. Like we've got with a couple of schools that we've got here on Guam, the ones that really didn't have all that many problems, passing their inspections with public health and all of that. So it's an interesting piece of legislation trying to resolve that issue. It provides authority in the legislation now for the Chamorro Land Trust Commission to commence negotiations with the government of Guam for the sale or lease of the Tamuning property. But it also provides authorization in Section 8 for the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission to authorize commenced negotiations with the government of Guam for the sale or lease of the property in Barrigada. So does that put these guys on like a racetrack? Does that all of a sudden mean that the guys between GALC and the Ancestral Lands Use Commission, and who did I say the other guys were? The Chamorro Land Trust Commission? Does that put them in a race to go and whoever can get their deals done with the government and find their buyers faster? Well, congratulations. That's where the hospital is going to go, as opposed to the logical Tamuning is the best place for it, or where in Barrigada, or what you people are calling Barrigada, are we going to put this? Down the 2-lane highway from Route 10 Alpha and Route 15 that will take you down some chalunky and very dangerous roads? Do we have enough property up there to be able to widen things out to accomplish the multiple lanes that are going to be required for ambulances, etc.? It'll be $1 billion boulevard when they're done. Anyway, so ponder. 9:36 in the morning. I suppose we can get into this a little bit early. Find out what the big stories are with Donna D. Donna, you about ready to go? All right,
A
here it
video showing a staff member yelling profanities at Guam Academy Charter School has the community concerned. Residents criticized the school's handling of the incident, while the school claims it wasn't reported. An anonymous tip claims corruption and poor management within the school, accusing them of covering up. The board is urged to address concerns and ensure transparency. And Judge Elise Iriarte has denied motions from both sides of the $220 million land dispute between GWA and Cortec. She clarified key aspects, but hasn't determined if Cortec owns the land housing the wastewater treatment plant. GWA spent over $1.4 million on attorneys. Cortec claims ownership, seeking damages for unpaid rent since 1980. A status hearing rescheduled for next Thursday. And high school students can enroll in GDOE's summer construction trades classes, covering core curriculum and 2 levels of construction craft laborer training. Successful completion earns a National Center for Construction Education and Research certification. Students should contact their school counselors for registration. The program is funded by the USDOE's consolidated grant to the outlying areas. And those are your local headlines on The Point. Now back to Ray.
All right, got it. Sarita Garin says, you know we're Thirsty Thursday tonight. I do. I can guess.
Oh, yeah.
Are we going to be celebrating the opening of the reopening of the road, the Hilton Road there, that snaky thing on Epal Road? Is that where maybe somewhere along that road, maybe at the bend of the road, is where we're going to be celebrating a Thirsty Thursday?
Blackbird Boulevard.
Blackbird Boulevard, right on. 6:38 in the morning. Tell you what, we'll take a look at what's going on with traffic and more after these.
At APL, their expertise and extensive work can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing their efforts in giving back to the community. APL's dedicated team in Guam and the U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
Earn miles on everyday moments to help you plan for your next vacation with the United Credit Card from First Hawaiian Bank. Apply by April 30th, 2024 for the United Credit Card, and if approved, you can earn 30,000 miles when you spend $1,500 within the first 3 months. Plus, there's no expiration on the miles you've earned. Get on board with the First Hawaiian Bank United Credit Card. It all starts with yes. Terms and conditions apply. To learn more, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com/United.
So early to be peeking into traffic. I don't know that we're going to find anything this morning, but it's worth looking. 6:39, and there's nothing anywhere. The heaviest concentration of traffic right now is in Dededo, and you might see a little bit of traffic. Looks like northbound heading into Dededo on Marine Corps Drive at the intersection of 1 and 3. Tiny bit of traffic up around Ugadu. You know, yesterday I said congratulations to the Academy of Our Lady of Guam graduates.
Yeah.
Apparently it was last night.
Okay.
So I don't know what the hell I saw.
Sorry about that,
I don't
guys.
know what I saw at Academy. I don't know what I saw.
Sorry about that again.
The other night at the Cathedral Basilica, but I'm pretty sure it was...
Yeah, a baccalaureate.
Yeah, because
Something like
I
that.
went to go eat dinner last night at CPK because I know that the real Joe Guam was performing there. And I wanted to get a selfie with him, so I
Nice.
just, checked that out. And I want to say a girl named Brianna, or there's a B name. It's a girl B name. That came in briefly, got the applause from like everybody at CPK, and then jammed to go someplace else. So congratulations again to the Academy's class of 2024. 6:40 in the morning. What have I got? Any other traffic you need to know about? It's just intersection traffic for most of the thing here this morning. I don't see anything that's going to slow anybody down. But it will give me an opportunity to bitch and moan just one more time. So this morning, this is the way the decision tree
God,
on...
you make today so worth it, Ray.
How do I get to work today? And so as I'm passing Payless on Route 8 and looking southbound towards the Magagaga intersection, and if it looks clear, and if it looks like the last car to make that turn is already far up the way on the Magagaga Highway, that's how I'll get to work this morning. And I got into that usual spot there, and I saw a car that looked like it was going to be a slowpoke. It looked like it was going to be one of those cars that I was going to have to ride the bumper
Elderly,
of all the way to the parking lot
Asian,
at the Guam
woman.
International. Yeah. I didn't say woman. That could apply to anybody now. And
You're right.
and so I decided, you know, take Marine Corps Drive. I take Marine Corps Drive. And that turned into it was weird because there was a lot more cars on the road, which made it that much more dicey to blow the red lights because there were witnesses. None of them, as far as I know, were cops, but
couldn't get rid of the witnesses.
There were witnesses, and I'd kind of look at it and go, okay, I've waited long enough, and the light's going to turn green any second now, so I might as well just go now, and I did. But what was surprising was the amount of pedestrian traffic on the road here. There were a couple of people I almost ran over. Down over by the Horse and Cat, and just kind of random people walking
Wearing
around.
black.
Yeah, always. They're always wearing the darkest clothes in the world, and there's no
Zombies.
lights on anything. Yeah. And just wondering if they're asking to be run over by a car, somebody that's just trying to hurtle towards Upper Tumont so I can get to work. Anyway, 6:42 in the morning. There's your news weather together here in the traffic on the point.
Quality care, peace of mind. That is the FHP Imaging Center. Our specialized board-certified radiologist ensures patient-focused care with diagnostic medical imaging, including CT scanner and full-field digital mammogram, and many more. The FHP Imaging Center and the FHP Urgent Care is open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Call 671-646-5825, option 1 for an appointment. Now accepting GovGuam self-funded. FHP Health Center, our island, your clinic.
Everyone has a busy schedule these days, and sometimes we forget to schedule our routine dental checkup and cleaning. Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile Team, conveniently located at the East West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumont. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3. Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
Absolutely do. 6:43 in the morning, and the Ray Gibson Show portion is brought to you by the guys over at NissanGuam.com and the World Wide Web. Even at $5.20 a gallon, it's still worthwhile to go and do the shopping around online if you can. Take a look at all the great rides that they've got there, SUVs and trucks and sedans, even electric vehicles. If you're interested in that kind of thing, you're going to love the pricing because whatever price you see, minus from that, minus $10,000. 4.99% on your good credit. Find out more details at NissanGuam.com.
Rediscover talk radio here. Your FM News Talk Superstation. This is The Point.
Studio time is 6:44. Your mileage may vary. It's also possible that you are watching this program in another time zone. It is possible that you are watching this program as a video on demand on YouTube or Rumble or Facebook or something like that. And if you are, I want to say thanks very much. I think I understand the strategy is you watch it as a video on demand, and that way whenever I get into these weird, boring rants, you can just fast forward. You can just go, oh, there he goes again. On the god-awful, butt-ugly chain-link fence. I'll advance this over by about 2 minutes, and by then he should be done and move on to something else. I appreciate that. But a couple of things that are interesting to me today. As I was waking up and preparing for the program, I have a litany. I've got a rotation of places that I check, and one of them is Twitter. What was Twitter, now X, and a number of entertaining and, if you will, kind of provocative stories that are out there. And sometimes it's not so much my initial reaction, it's looking at the reactions of other people. So CNN Communications has come out with an announcement that CNN will host the 2024 presidential debate between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump in Atlanta, Georgia. It'll air live on the 27th of June, 9 Eastern, on CNN Max. And if you don't have cable, you'll be able to see it online. You'll be able to watch it at CNN.com. And so that in and of itself is interesting. But you know who the Hodge twins are, right?
I do. Yeah.
They are some of the funniest, sometimes
Conservative
irreverent conservative
men of color.
Yes. Their take on it. They struggling fake news network gets to host and moderate the biggest presidential debate in history. Why did you say yes to this, Donald? Why'd you say yes to this? But can you imagine this guy?
It's not going to be Joe, Ray.
No.
Look
gonna
at
be
the
the
ears.
robot.
Look at the ears.
No, they're going to send in. They're going to send in the robot. They're going to send in the stunt double.
Yeah.
Right. And they just put that mask on him.
The TX3000.
Or
send it in.
What's the other thing they like to do? They just got to amp the guy up on amphetamines and caffeine. So that he might be able to
pump him full of Adderall.
right.
Send him
to
up
be able
there.
to survive the thing. Anyway, so there's that. Robert Kennedy's already complaining because he feels like he's being left out of the whole process, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, of course, CNN's doing the Biden thing, but it was go back to Twitter's and it's all over the place. Is these little videos of Joe Biden talking tough, talking trash, calling it out. Make my day. I beat you in the two debates prior. I'm like, whoa, wait, hold on a second. I remember watching and listening to those things live and in real time. I don't ever recall you being able to take the upper hand. I don't recall Trump being as strong as I would have liked him to be, but maybe he was being gentle because you're just a senile old man and he didn't want to beat you up terribly on the stage of the debate. Maybe this time, Donald, all bets are off. Anyway, 6:47 in the morning, 888-825-58-TALK. That's the phone number. And we found, as I said, I was looking for any functioning idlet. And Real Joe said, here is any idlet on the line. I'm going to presume that it might be Landon on this one. Landon, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Ray. This is Annie Idlet. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I wasn't because one of the last times we talked, you said your brother was coming back and you were going.
Well, kind of. Well, it's difficult. It's complicated. We're both coming and going at different times.
Right.
I think we're both going to be off island in the first week of June.
No.
We're going to be in
No.
different.
No, you're not. You are not allowed to leave until there are no more invests. For this, we're going to do this like they did the car score in COVID-19. We need to have 14 days without an invest before either one of you are allowed on a plane.
Oh, good luck. Right now with that pattern, that might be a while.
Yeah, my point completely. You want to drag Chip out of retirement?
I keep threatening him with that, and he says heck no, but I know that really means a yes.
Tell him I asked. Tell him Ray asked. So yesterday, just as I was feeling pretty groovy about our conversation and it being, an interesting situation now with the drought and not a whole lot by way of clouds, all of a sudden the National Weather Service issues a special a supplemental regional weather outlook, and it had these words: Invest 93W southwest of Chuk Lagoon. Now, when I was a kid, it used to be a joke. It wasn't a good joke, but they said, why did it take so long for Typhoon Pamela to get to Guam? And the punchline was, because it came by truck, which is what we used to call Chuk back in the olden days, because it came by truck. So that has cemented, I think, culturally in the people's minds, anytime there is any activity around Chuk State, get to condition orange.
Yeah, and so this is something we're watching, and I was really on the fence yesterday. I know we talked yesterday morning about some regional weather outlooks and stuff, but this is something that's been going on in the background. Of course, the American GFS model has been spinning up something in this broad region for about 3 weeks now. Several weeks ago, it looked like it was spinning up something toward Palau and then toward the Philippines, and I know a lot of agencies in the Philippines and social media groups are pushing out this possible first tropical cyclone 2024 is going to strike the Philippines. Nothing ever happens. And so this resident feature across the region, the near equatorial trough, that's been semi-permanent south of Palau, Yap, and Chuk, is still there, and it's still spinning up these invest areas. And so in that release, I mentioned that we've looked at invest 90, 91, 92, and now we're up to 93 within this near equatorial trough that is just sitting there. The GFS model likes to pick up on different signals and spin something up with it. And so we're seeing that, but we were forced to communicate because the weather conditions, they are present in the FSM. And so whether there's a significant tropical cyclone or not, those weather conditions, those effects are already there across the outer islands. And so we are doing some coordination and communication with them, but also the prevalence of weather apps. People have this information at their fingertips.
Yeah.
And once I get some messages to my phone from WhatsApp or Facebook saying, are you seeing this? I know that people are talking about it, and some of the GFS models are spinning up some stuff right over Guam next week. And so my position is that if the community is talking about the weather threats and forecasts, the Weather Service has to be present in that conversation, if not leading that conversation. But let me add, the only certainty right now is uncertainty. There's a lot of possibilities. Nothing is certain at this time. Will we see a typhoon strike Guam next week? You know, it's very unlikely, but it's one of those trends we're seeing in some of the models, one particular that we are looking at for. Is it possible nothing could develop at all? Yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah.
This is just a very complicated situation where
you just take a look at what the winds are doing down there. I mean, the high altitude winds. This thing is anything that tries to come up. In my mind, looks like it's going to get top blown off by all of that easterly wind.
Yeah, and that's a possibility. It doesn't want a very sheared environment. It wants a nice, wholesome environment to form vertically up into the atmosphere. And so that was part of the problem last year. We had a very sheared atmosphere across the region. That really inhibited a lot of the tropical cyclone growth that we otherwise expected to happen last year with a strong El Nino. So it's a very complex situation, but what can people on Guam do at this time? Stay up to date. Watch the weather forecast and trends from the National Weather Service. We'll be posting information to the Facebook page for the region, but it's something that we're watching. Those heavy showers and impacts are present in the FSM, and of course, if that gets over Pohnpei or Chuuk, then they could be looking at some possibilities of mudslides and landslides if you have that heavy rain prolonged over a period of time.
And now, at this point, just for other clarity and maybe to give people a sense of a little bit more confidence, the Joint Typhoon Warning Center is not showing any active tropical warnings in the Pacific right now.
That's correct. And so this disturbance is rated as Invest Area 93W. Once it gets upgraded to a low for development or medium or high, then it goes into the public-facing web page. But right now it's listed as sub-low, and therefore it's not on the public page. That means that significant development into a tropical depression is not expected at this time. It's just something for gathering information, investigating the disturbance, and collecting data for observational purposes.
Because I got, you know what, I just got my new awning from ERC, bro. I just got the new awning.
Tell us the truth, Landon.
I got Christmas lights outside. Just this. There's something else that you want to say, but you can't say it because we're on the radio. Just beep it to my WhatsApp. I'm playing around. It's still early. There's room for frivolity here, but just be aware that weather watchers here are aware. The National Weather Service is aware, and for your awareness now, this is one of those things. You're going to be on social media anyway. You can always find out what's going on at the National Weather Service. They're all over social media. They got a great Facebook page. I have forwarded. I've shared the special weather statement that you put out yesterday. The weather statement, the supplemental statement you put out yesterday. I shared that on our pages. So if you don't know where to go to my page, look for that, and then follow it to the National Weather Service, and then add them as favorites. That way, whenever something pops up, you will know right away.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. And of course, I was on the fence yesterday on how to communicate it and where and to whom. And with the public talking about it, these weather apps, it was best just to go public and just say, hey, this is what we're watching, this is what we're tracking. We're not committing to any scenario at this time, but just stay tuned, not to cause panic or anything. The weekend weather ahead looks great. I've got some inquiries about graduations and events this weekend. The weekends for Guam looks great. So go ahead and continue with your plans for this weekend.
The worst thing about the graduating this time of year is the termites that just get under everybody's dresses. 6:55 in the morning. Landon, I appreciate your time again this morning. And
absolutely.
As usual, if anything else pops up that I think our listeners need to know about or be aware of, then I'll be happy to reach out to you.
Yeah, that sounds good. We'll
That's
be
the way
here.
it works. All right, buddy. 888-825-5888-TA. Okay. 6:55 in the morning. I was not expecting to talk to him as quickly as reach out to him as quickly as we did, as quickly as we've been reaching out to Doug Moylan. And frankly, I'm not pushing it, but there's a reason why we might want to reach out to Doug Moylan. I'm not saying we're going to. I'm just saying that there's a reason. I don't know how many of you follow the SCOTUS blog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Read that first thing in the morning every day. Just find out what they're up to. Anyway, the SCOTUS blog, the petitions of the week, they do this, and the petition of the week of the issues that will be before to Supreme Court of the United States of America include this one here, Moylan versus Guerrero. In the 1990s, a federal district court in Guam blocked a total ban on abortion enacted by the territory's legislature because it conflicted with Roe v. Wade after the justices overruled Roe 2 years ago in Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization. Guam's attorney general sought to lift the hold on the ban, but the Guam Supreme Court, in response to a request by the territory's governor, ruled that the ban cannot be revived because more recent abortion laws have effectively wiped it from the books. This week, we highlight petitions that ask the court to consider, among other things, whether the Guam Supreme Court had the authority to wade into the decision in Planned Parenthood of Southeastern Pennsylvania versus Casey. It surprised many who doubted that the court was willing to defend Roe after 2 decades of fighting over abortion. Among the skeptics was the Guam legislature, which in 1990 enacted a total ban on abortion, wagering that the tides would soon shift and states and territories would be allowed to regulate abortion on their own. A federal court quickly put the ban on hold, agreeing with the challengers that it violated Roe. When Casey ultimately upheld Roe, that hold remained in effect. Today, Dobbs has wiped away Roe and Casey and overturned the constitutional right to abortion. Douglas Moylan, the Attorney General of Guam, went to federal court seeking to lift the hold on the 1990 ban. Now that no federal constitution decision stands in its way, Moylan argued the ban should be allowed to go into effect. Lourdes Guerrero, they call her Lulian Guerrero, obviously, the governor of Guam, joined a host of challengers opposing Moylan's request. Meanwhile, Guerrero went to the Guam Supreme Court asking that court to decide whether the ban remained valid and thus capable of resurrection. Moylan, in turn, opposed that request. And this is a little bit of the setup that goes into the conversation. I'll get down to the summary here. In Moylan v. Guerrero, the Attorney General asked the justices to vacate the Guam Supreme Court's ruling. He argues that the law authorizing the territory's high court to issue declaratory judgments, I mispronounced that on purpose, violates the separation of powers because it exceeds the limited judicial authority that Congress granted the Guam Supreme Court. Just as that court's ruling here frustrated the Ninth Circuit's resolution of the abortion issue, Moylan writes, a law permitting declaratory judgments simultaneously elevates the Supreme Court of Guam above the other branches of Guam's government and undermines the operations of Guam's federal courts. So in it, yes, thank you very much. I'll take the compliment, but acknowledge that it belongs solely to Bob Klitsky. At any rate, so that's one of the things. Who knows? Maybe before the end of the week, the next couple of weeks or so, we might hear from the Supreme Court and figure out where we're going to be going next. And I'm sure the people over at the legislature are looking at this like, oh God, please, you guys decide. You guys decide. It's an election year. We don't need to make abortion an election year issue. Please God, please God, please God. Legislative 10-foot poles. Where's mine? Hey, is that the music I hear? Are we done with the first hour of the Ray Gibson Show? Amazing. Or as we say in Japanese, sugoi. You know what sucks is I'll say a word like that in Japanese, and then they'll start talking to me in like fluent speaking Japanese. I'm like, whoa, totally lost. Sorry about that. Got to break away. Fox News Live is coming up next on the other side of that. Donna D with a look at all the big news and headlines that we're going to be yakking about all morning long. Jerry Roberts, the undisputed king of morning talk radio, will be on with the Extra Point. That's all ahead right here. KUSG Aganya, 3 times on B, People's Choice, Pika's best radio station.
It's not a change in policy. Lisa Brady, Fox News. That from the White House as the Biden administration signs off on a new billion-dollar arms sale to Israel after holding up a shipment over concerns about civilians in one part of Gaza.
President Biden has been consistent, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says, about the ironclad commitment to Israel's security and defense.
We've also said 2 things can be true. We've also said that they have to do it in a way that protects civilian lives.
A single shipment of unguided heavy bombs to Israel is on hold over concerns they could cause significant civilian harm in Rafah. But all other transfers, Jean-Pierre says, are moving forward. House Republicans prepared legislation that would mandate the delivery of offensive weapons to Israel. The White House has threatened a veto, arguing it constrains the president's ability to deploy national security objectives.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. A House panel holding a hearing about anti-Semitism on college campuses, including testimony from a Jewish student who's suing Harvard. Earlier, pro-Palestinian graduates walking out of an NYU commencement at Yankee Stadium.
Student protesters calling on NYU's president to do more in support of their ongoing protest. And this comes as many families are trying to celebrate achievement today.
Fox's CB Cotton. NYU says the ceremony was joyful and that a tiny fraction of the crowd walking out had no impact on the proceedings. An agreement on at least 2 presidential debates, hours after President Biden called out his predecessor in a social media video.
Let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
That's a day off in the New York hush money trial. Former President Trump repeating that he'll debate anywhere, anytime, any place. They've both agreed to June 27th with CNN and September 10th, hosted by ABC. No details yet on moderators. America is listening to Fox News.
KFC's Extra Tasty Spicy is here to set every moment on fire. Spice up your day with a dash of extreme spicy. Available in battered fries, boneless crispy strips, and KFC crispy chicken. Order the Extra Tasty Spicy and get ready for a fiery feast. Enter KFC's spiciest era yet. Get your fix at your favorite KFC today or order online at kfcguam.com. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Stay cool all year round by checking out Johnstone Supply for your HVAC and refrigeration needs. Located at 170 Guerrero Drive on Picanell Road in Tamuning, call Johnstone Supply today at 671-649-0581. That's 671-649-0581. Open 8 a.m. to noon and 1 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Open Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and closed on Sundays. Stay cool with Johnstone Supply.
Download podcasts.
Slovakia's prime minister fights for his life after an assassination attempt.
The Slovakian defense minister, speaking to reporters, is calling the condition of the nation's prime minister, Robert Fico, extraordinarily serious. Fico was shot multiple times earlier today after a political event. The prime minister was reportedly shot in the stomach. A suspect is in custody but has not been named. Slovakia's interior minister is now saying the first phases of the investigation are revealing the attack appears to be politically motivated. Fico has been described as a divisive figure who supports Russia and whom many Slovakians fear may lead their country out of the NATO alliance.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Overdose deaths in the U.S. are declining after years of increases, but overall the news is mixed.
The CDC's National Center for Health Statistics says in 2023 there were more than 107,000 overdose deaths. Those numbers are not final, but they are what's predicted. That is down from 111,000 overdose deaths the year before. Most of these deaths are linked to opioids, and while overdoses linked to opioids, especially synthetics like fentanyl, did drop, overdoses involving cocaine and meth increased. The map of where there were declines and increases varies, with most of the decreases in overdose deaths happening in the eastern half of the United States, the biggest declines in Nebraska and Kansas. The biggest increase was in Alaska, followed by Oregon, Nevada, and Washington. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Just getting word a baseball player is suspended after a foreign substance was found in his glove. Astros starter Ronel Blanco receiving a 10-game suspension beginning tonight unless he appeals. He was ejected from a game yesterday after umpires found a sticky substance. Blanco denied using anything illegal, suggesting it may have been rosin from his left arm sweating into the glove. Records all around on Wall Street. The Dow up 349. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
May is Stroke Awareness Month, and it's crucial to recognize the signs. Do you know BFAST?
BFAST?
Yeah, B-E-F-A-S-T. It stands for balance, eyes, face, arms, speech, and time. These are symptoms you need to watch out for.
Can you break it down?
All right, sure. Balance issues, sudden trouble with vision, facial drooping, arm weakness, slurred speech, and it's time to call emergency services.
Remember, folks, when it comes to strokes, time is brain. Act fast, save a life. Learn the Be Fast symptoms today.
Brought to you by Guam Regional Medical City, advocating for stroke awareness and prevention. Visit us at www.grmc.gu.
Hungry for an unforgettable dining experience? Look no further than Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro, where every meal is a celebration of flavor and tradition. From mouth-watering appetizers to decadent desserts, every dish is crafted with passion and local flair, and with a warm and inviting atmosphere that feels like coming home. Dining at Mezcla Bistro is not just a meal, it's an experience to savor. Join us at Mezcla Bistro in the heart of Hagåtña. Your table awaits. Visit us online online at mezclaguam.com or call 671-479-2652 or 489-2653. Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro, a true taste of Guam. May 19th, save the date for Choice Broadcasting and Lotte Hotel Guam's Island Wedding Expo. Free admission. Join us in the Crystal Ballroom from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. for refreshments, raffles, and a fun passport stamping for a couple to win a flyaway courtesy of United Airlines. The couple must be present to win. Special thanks to some of our fine sponsors: Perfect View 360, Stelstar Productions, Weddings by Jane, The Occasion, Modern Nen, Tentata, DJ Booth and Lighting, Michaela Winters Photography, Say Media, Heaven Scent, Rustic Poppy Photography, and so many more. May 19th, it's the Island Wedding Expo.
Your 7 o'clock local news is brought to you by AB Risk Solutions.
Off a day at 7:07. I'm Donna De Jesus. Here's a look at your local news on The Point. A veteran Guam Customs and Quarantine Officer, 49-year-old Eddie Leon Guerrero Nangauta, who has been with the agency for 25 years, has been placed on administrative leave following recent charges. Nangauta faces accusations of family violence and terrorizing after threatening a woman's life. Customs spokesperson confirms awareness of the arrest. An internal affairs investigation is underway with Nangauta's firearm relinquished. The incident occurred earlier this month, where he sent threatening text messages saying, "I need to hurt you, and if you call the cops, I'll kill you and your family." He was released on a $5,000 bond and ordered to stay away from the accuser. And Senator Chris Duenas voiced concern over his bills, urging Speaker Therese Terlahi and Senator Sabina Perez to include Bills 51 and 175 on the session agenda. Duenas emphasized the importance of Bill 51 addressing accessory dwelling units, and Bill 175 focused on Type 4 nitrate systems. Duenas highlighted bipartisan support for the bills and pledged to push for their consideration if they remain unaddressed. He thanked the Guam Association of Realtors and supporters, urging community involvement to advocate for the bills. If necessary, Duenas plans to exercise his right during the session to bring the bills to the floor for discussion. More news after this.
Whoever said no risk, no reward has never been sued. Hi, I'm Dave Silva from AB Risk Solutions, and our job for over 70 years has been to help businesses just like yours manage risk. Manage risk? We will never be able to totally eliminate the myriad of risks every business faces, but we can help you manage them and recover when disaster strikes. From mom and pop operations to high-rise hotels, we're the experts businesses have counted on for many years. Call me today at 777-2668 for a free risk review and consultation.
AB Risk Solutions, formerly known as Aon.
Senators and hospital officials were blaming each other during discussions on GMH's maternity ward upgrades. Dr. Jonathan Siddell attributed funding delays to the legislature's failure to allocate sufficient funds. In response, Senator Joanne Brown questioned the hospital's fiscal management. Speaker Therese Terlahi defended the legislature's support, citing efforts to secure additional funding. GMH remains the sole facility for maternal and neonatal care. Meanwhile, plans are underway to kick off the formal bid phase for construction services in August, aiming to complete procurement by November and award contracts by December. Construction is slated to commence before the new year, with an anticipated completion date set for September 2027. And Guam's seatbelt use stands at 94.24%, surpassing the national rate of 91.9% reported by Public Works. Despite this, DPW pushes for a 100% seatbelt compliance rate through the Click It or Ticket campaign for 2 weeks starting next week. Public Works Director Vince Areola emphasized the importance of seatbelt use, stating it's not only a safety measure but also the law. The campaign will involve enforcement by local law enforcement agencies, aiming to instill the habit of buckling up for drivers and passengers. And those are your top stories. Back to Ray with weather.
Okay, nannies. I'll bucket my seatbelt, nanny.
No, you won't.
What a bunch of bull. I hated this from jump. I hated from jump. What happens in my car, unless I am violating a moving violation, if I'm driving drunk or I'm speeding or I'm eyeballing the girl in the car next to me or I'm going 75 miles an hour or something like. If I'm really endangering the community, then that's why we should have laws. That's why we should have laws, and that's why we should enforce it, right? But if I'm driving around, if I don't have a seatbelt on, Well, does that make me more of a lethal threat to anybody
That's
on the road?
you, man.
That's on me.
Yeah.
That's on me. So if I get into an accident and I've got my seatbelt on and I manage to walk away from this thing, awesome. If I get into an accident and I didn't have my seatbelt on and all of a sudden I'm in the hospital with a coma and the insurance company's got to pay all kinds of money or I'm going to die, that's on me too. That's I did that. And I know that there's other arguments that can be made. And fact of the matter is, I really, really try on behalf of my daughter to remember to put the seatbelt on. And you know what? I've got this great Nissan Frontier, and it's got the most annoying beep. It's got beep beep beep. I mean, it's in your it gets directly into that part of your ear that can't stand beeps. But you know, I'm pretty good at filtering that crap out, and it only lasts for like 2 minutes. So this is
lucky you don't have a car from Donkey.
It stops after that?
Yeah.
Mine doesn't.
So this is
I buckle up.
See, you don't know.
I do know.
Have you tried?
Yes.
Have you tried? Have
It
you ever
keeps
tried putting a key in the little seatbelt thing?
No, I have I'll tell you later.
Okay, all right, fine. I'm just saying, I don't like, trust me, I'm an adult. Trust me to make the right decision. And if I feel like I'm putting the seatbelt on today, if I feel like, I just feel that there's something about people on the road these days, everybody's driving like jerks. Okay, maybe I better put my seatbelt on. They're driving in the middle of the night where I know that there's drunks out there. Okay, I'll put the seatbelt on just in case. Going down Maga Gaga Highway where you never know what's going to happen, seatbelt on for sure. But if I'm just zipping down to the store down the street, what are we going to put the seatbelt on for? What's the 20-mile-an-hour traffic on the road? Why make this a law? I don't like nanny stuff. I don't like people telling me what I can and can't do. If I'm not a threat to anybody in society, leave me alone. Keep your ticket. Go find somebody. You know what? You're going to give me a ticket for not wearing my seatbelt, and the car next to me has got 17 guys, and they're all smoking crystal methamphetamine and looking for somebody to rob.
17 guys in a car.
Yeah, they're all skinny because they're all they smell like a cat box in there. Anyway, so where was I? 7:13 in the morning. Sorry, I just need to get that off my chest. And the same bunch of people come up with this nanny stuff are the same idiots that now want to talk about controlling how much sugary drinks I can buy or what the tax on the sugary drink is going to be because they know better than me. I don't think so. Partly sunny, highs near 89 degrees. Easterly winds 11 to 16 miles an hour. Might see some gusts as high as 23 today. Mostly cloudy and overnight lows of about 78 degrees this evening. Easterly winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Going to be gusty over the next couple of days, according to this. Might see some gusts on Saturday for as high as 24 miles an hour. You know what that's going to be? That's going to make it super fun to be in certain parts of Tumon where the sand is like super, super fine, 24 miles an hour. That stuff hits you, and it is it's itai. It's you will feel deputi when it hits you in the skin at 25 miles an hour. And we might have days like that. With a heat index, feel like 94 degrees, 30% chance of rain, and sunset tonight at 6:40 p.m. Hashtag tell the others. There it is. News and weather together on The Point.
For those busy mornings when you need some portable perfection that is both hearty and flavorful, Wendy's has your back with the new breakfast burrito. Wendy's breakfast burrito is stuffed with the fresh-made quality breakfast ingredients their fans know and love for breakfast on the go. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
For all your real estate needs, call the professionals at Hoffaday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, and Lolita, and they'll take care of you on every step of the real estate process. No worries. Just contact Hoffaday Realty at 588-4232 or 588-HOFFA or email them at hoffadayrealty@gmail.com. They're at 426 Chelon, San Antonio, Suite 204 in Tamuning. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. Hoffaday Realty for all your real estate needs. How about what? Ray Gibson Show being brought to you by the guys over at APL, American President Lines, a global presence with a local home. And Kim and Ron over at Security Title. I bet they buckle their seatbelt up because they want to, not because DPW and the police department are going to be doing this compulsory nonsense out there. It's the smart thing to do. Let people be smart. Or not, as the case may be. Anyway, 7:15 in the morning. Ray Gibson Show also being brought to you by, did I already do APL? Global President.
It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
It's the thing. I wasn't sure. I said Kim and Ron. and that's important. Now, if you bought my house, I want it back. For about what?
The mangoes.
The mangoes. I
It's
just bought
about
the
the
mangoes.
mangoes, man.
It's all about the mangoes. And the calamansi tree in the
You're gonna
front.
have to move out.
I want that. and there was coconuts in the back. And were you able to ever do something? I remember I got from my buddy Frank Ariola. I got this decorative golden bamboo. And he says, okay, I'm going to give this to you, Ray, but there's a warning that comes with it, like there's some kind of a curse with decorative golden bamboo. And he says, you got to be careful. This stuff will get away from you. And I'm going, nah, oh, yeah, I'll be out here all the time. I'll be trimming it and pulling out and maybe eat the bamboo shoots. I go, it's fine. Next thing I know, these decorative golden bamboos are visible from space. Literally, the next time they did a Google flyover at my house for Google Maps, I could see the decorative golden bamboo out in the backyard. There might be people living inside of it. I'm not sure. 7:16 in the morning. 888-825-58-TALK. You got the telephone number. We'll jump into this before we get anywhere else. I wanted to reach out and talk to my buddy Chris Duenas, who has got questions about some of what the heck is going on with the Rules Committee over at the legislature, with time running out on this particular legislature. There's still a whole lot that's in committee and needs to get out and discussed on the floor. Good morning, Senator Chris.
Buenas and half a day. My name is Chris Duenas, and I endorse Ray Gibson's message.
The message about the nannies need to get out of my car?
Yes.
and the nannies have got to stop worrying about whether I've got too many sugary drinks at my house or whether I'm buying 32 ounces of my favorite drink?
And the nannies have also got to stop hating on bills, and if they don't like them, either don't vote for them or amend them and make them better if that's what you want to do. And that's what I'm trying to do. Thank you for taking my call, Ray Gibson, Real Joe.
Oh, wait a second. I thought we called you. Sorry.
Well, you did, but obviously, I responded, and I always enjoy the opportunity to be on your show. But yeah, Ray, these bills I think are very critical to our people. First of all, the assisted dwelling unit, additional dwelling unit. Actually, this is Tony Atta's bill and my bill from the 36th. And the same committee doesn't like this bill. I will just tell you that straight away. And the bottom line is we did everything that needs to be done. If there are additional restrictions or there's additional language you want to put in, then let
amend it on the floor.
Do it. But it's met all of the compliances. And then moving forward, I can tell you that the committee also, under Sabina Perez, does not like Bill 175. But, that's not a reason not to let it out and get on the floor. And, there's so many families. What's really disappointing, Ray, is we sent a lot of the emails to the media that these families who have this problem with that one of the main things this bill does, just to let our audience know once again, is there's a major disparity between parental subdivisions and subdivisions that are created through decedent estates, which are estates that the parents didn't subdivide their property, so they went through probate. And the only way the court deals with that is they do equal distribution. So a lot of times in these lots, you have multiple family members, and these lots are divided equally. So they're basically, if they're over the northern aquifer or they're in an area where
there's prohibitions on what you can do with them based on the size of these fractional lots now.
Exactly. So if you're not one of the lucky ones that has sewer right out in front of your house, or 50 feet away, and you also can't put a septic tank on it, you basically have a piece of land that you can't do anything with.
Correct.
So we came up with the idea that let's move along with technology that's over 50 years old around the world. In Japan, they have they basically have perfected this nitrate treatment system that takes care of wastewater and neutralizes it, and been doing it, for decades and decades and decades in rural areas where they also don't have, access to public sewer system. And so, I'm just trying to see if Guam can come of age and help these families who desperately want to use their land and do something with it. What's really funny too is these particular senators also purport that they really, for our people, our Chamorro people, one of the things that this will do also is double the capabilities of lots available on Chamorro Land Trust properties, because even on Chamorro Land Trust properties, which a lot are over the northern aquifer, which aren't even regulated a lot now.
Yes.
You know, just things just like kind of abandoned cars. You know what I mean? We don't do anything about it. We just complain about it. And so here you have a situation where you can actually put a proper treatment system in and protect the aquifer while also doubling the capacity for helping people.
There was a bill. In fact, I believe it's passed the legislature in Hawaii, and I would be surprised if the governor didn't sign off on it. And it speaks exactly to this issue, and it complements a bill that you had introduced over at the legislature that would allow for families to be able to build other facilities on their property. So if I've got an acre piece of property, I'm not using the entire thing for one house. There's room there, so I can build another, not an extension. What'd you call it?
Additional dwelling unit.
An additional dwelling unit. So the point, though, is that it allows us to maximize the land. We are on an island, and we've already got problems that we can see now. I mean, they just announced over at Gura that they had to cancel basically the cattle call for new applicants because they were just swamped. There were just so many of them. And so these are solutions that will help. I mean, it ain't going to solve it. No one thing is going to solve it, but it's going to take a couple of steps. Will get us a little bit closer to that eventual solution. Otherwise, what we're going to end up doing is seeing the children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren of these original landowners moving off to the States where they will be able to get themselves on a piece of property that's not going to cost them an arm and a leg.
You're absolutely right, Ray. I mean, come on. With construction costs and interest rates, it's nuts. You've been talking about it, for months and weeks, and that probably a couple of years now, that with these interest rates and construction costs, nobody can basically build anything right now. So give people the dignity to build something that's 800 square feet, that has a one bedroom in it, that has a little kitchen, has a small dining room that they can. And the other thing too, Ray, is I know that this went back and forth, and this is what we cleaned up because Guam Association Realtors, John Duenas, Liz, and their group, Monty, they all helped with this. And the bottom line is they said, look, some people are going to need to have this as an available for a rental, because some people really are having a tough time even paying their current mortgage. Yet if they have a rental, this can help them stay alive and keep their home. So it just does so many things, and it's so weird to be so stubborn and not just let these things hit the floor, debate them. Like I said, if you don't like
don't vote for it. And if you want to make a change, if you think there's an issue with it, Simon Sanchez online contributing his thoughts. He says, this is a good bill. It will help lower housing costs and still protect the aquifer. It should be passed. Now, just real quick before because I got to get Jerry Roberts on in about 90 seconds. I noticed that your name is not on bill number 305. This is being circulated by Senator Jesse Anderson Lohan. Doctors are beginning to chime in now, protesting against some of the language in legislation that Jess feels would be able to resolve the issue on the location of the hospital complex and the development of financing and operational plans moving forward. Any particular reason?
I did review the bill, and I had been talking to Senator Jess about it, and I'd really like the concept of the QC because, the idea going in, from what I understood, was this is going to create, attention for medical groups internationally, basically, to start looking Guam going, hey.
Okay, so you and I are the same. That's correct. But we've got doctors are chiming in with issues that would allow for the Chamorro Land Trust Commission and the Guam Ancestral Land Commission in separate portions to be able to begin negotiations. Both of these organizations work at the behest of Governor Lulian Guerrero or ADLOOP, however you want to do that, and they would likely be taking instruction from them, regardless of where it's going to go, to Muning or Barrigada. And if I worked for the governor, guess which one I'm going to be working harder on. It also has language that says, and it's kind of surprising that somebody would put it in here, that there's no further authorization by the legislature required. So,
I had similar concerns, and my understanding was there was going to be some additional work done on it. So, I didn't put my name on it, and hopefully there'll be some more work done on it.
Right. They are suggesting that the bill's author and Frank Bloss Jr. Abandon the legislation before anything else happens. They think this is bad. Stop it now. Kill it with fire. 7:25. I got to let you go. I got a very busy Jerry Roberts in the studio. I'll talk to you soon.
Right on. Take care.
You know what?
Take care, Jerry.
888-825-5888-TALK. I wasn't sure Jerry was going to be here because he's a busy man.
Well, yeah. Thank you very much, and thank you, Senator. Appreciate that. The whole thing about the housing.
Yeah.
Okay. And bring up affordable housing and all of this business. Directions Magazine was the first, I think, publication to report on this 20 years ago.
Dig that out.
About 20 years ago. And the maddening thing about living in Guam is that we will allow things to go by for a couple of decades and do nothing about it. I mean, recently there was language by somebody in the legislature, I think, and maybe in the government, by suggesting that it's too expensive now to look at affordable housing.
Yeah.
To how to build.
Yes.
What's it going to be next year?
Uh-huh.
I mean, is it going to go down next year? I mean, at some point in time, when's the best time to plant a tree?
Yesterday.
Yeah, 20 years ago. When's the next best time?
Tonight,
right
now.
Yeah, so you've got, at some point, you've just got to do this and find a way to utilize the available technology.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're making computerized concrete homes now. They just spit them out, right? We need to find a way to get affordable housing in Guam, or as you say, people are just going to leave and go somewhere else and find a piece of property.
Go to the mainland. It's all land on the mainland.
It's half
a
the
continent.
cost, and it's half the cost of what it's here to build a house or to rent an apartment or something. I mean, we've just got to face up to this. This is, if it isn't the most important topic, or should be, that's on the table for the upcoming election, everybody running for office ought to have a position on affordable housing. Everybody. And
lead with it.
And if they don't vote for them. Because they're going to kick this can down the road another
20 years.
10, 20 years. Yeah. And everybody's going to leave. All your children, all your grandchildren are going to leave, like mine did. And you're going to wind up with that situation. And it's deplorable.
It is deplorable, and it is beyond the scope of the 90 seconds that we've got available. It's all right. No, I know you're hot on it, and I know that you've been a canary in that coal mine for 20 years. 7:28. Jerry Roberts. Oh, he's hot now. It's time for the extra point. Brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank.
Oh, to take a breath. Thank you. He's 53 years old. Once worked on the loading docks for Walmart, and now they are the largest private employer in the world. And he worked his way up to CEO. He recently gave a speech to the 2024 graduates of the University of Arkansas, and I think there's a message in there for our kids and grandkids. And I'll offer the thoughts from Walmart CEO Doug McMillon next on the Extra Point.
Get closer to your next adventure with the United Credit Card from First Hawaiian Bank. Every dollar spent can help you earn miles towards your upcoming trip. Earn 2 times the miles for $1 spent on gas, groceries, and United Airlines tickets. And earn 1 mile for every dollar spent on all other qualifying purchases. Plus, there's no expiration on the miles you've earned. Get on board with the First Hawaiian Bank United Credit Card. It all starts with yes. Terms and conditions apply. To learn more, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to FHB.com/United.
At APL, their expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing their efforts in giving back to the community. APL's dedicated team in Guam and the U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
Doug McMillon leads Walmart's global force of 2.3 million employees. And you thought you had a stiff payroll to meet. In 2005, at the age of 34, he became the CEO of Sam's Club. Sam's Club is Walmart's version of Costuless. 4 years later, he was tabbed to head up Walmart International, and in 2014, he became the overall head honcho for the organization. He came up through the ranks, so he understands corporations from all angles. When he spoke to the graduating class at the University of Arkansas, he might as well have been giving advice to our sons and daughters, our grandchildren, nephews, and nieces. What he had to say caught my attention as it mirrors the message that I've been trying to give for the past 6 years here on the Ray Gibson Show. Let's get to 3 key pieces of advice. First, be present. McMillan said, life goes by fast, so try to enjoy every moment. Quoting now, I'm wired to think more about what's coming next than the moment right in front of me. Planning is important, but enjoying the present is too. So he acknowledges the fact that he's wired that way. Me too. I mean, you're going 1,000,000 miles an hour, but once in a while, stop to smell the roses. I'll add that the act of planning is important, but your plan may not play out the way you want. In McMillan's case, he planned to make $24,000 a year in his first real job out of college. He made less. He planned to get into business school at Harvard or Stanford or Wharton at the University of Pennsylvania. They all rejected him. He wanted to start a business. It didn't happen. What did happen was the opportunity at Walmart in a physically demanding job. His attitude, it was critical. McMillan said his first piece of advice to anyone looking for career guidance is, quoting, to do today's job well, be present, drive change, deliver results, and do it the right way. Being present in today's role and earning trust, listen to this one, leads to the next good job opportunity. I'll say it again. Being present in today's role and earning trust leads to the next good job opportunity. McMillan's second piece of advice is to pursue a career that does not feel like work. He said this, life is too short to invest so much time doing something you don't enjoy. His dad was a dentist, and he didn't like it. He had a family to support, so he stuck with it. A lot of people fall into this category through necessity. You're going to work 2,000 hours a year in your profession. It sure is a nicer way to go and to spend that time, if you like what you do. Then he said something important, and young people who are of the mind to jump between jobs after just weeks or even days should pay attention to this. McMillan stated, quoting, I'm not suggesting you run from hard things or adversity when they come up, and they will. Hanging in there in the face of challenge or criticism builds character, and that will serve you for the rest of your life. Finally, McMillan offered a nugget of advice that we all need to take in, digest, and make it ours individually, you and me. It is to assume positive intent from others and to always be willing to show people a little bit of grace. Social media has warped our senses, robbing us of our attention span as well as our patience. We need to give people the same break that we'd like to get for ourselves, and we hope that somebody someday will give to our kid. He told the story of how grace played a key role in him not losing his career at Walmart on his first day of work in 1984. Here's the story. McMillan showed up for work at the warehouse, but his boss decided to take a few of the rookies across town to help decorate the high school gym for the annual shareholders meeting. McMillan's car didn't have air conditioning or a radio, so he had a cassette tape boom box. Remember those? In the passenger seat, blaring really loud, and he had heavy metal music on it, and the windows were down to get air into the vehicle. You get the picture. Not wanting the boss to hear his loud music, he leaned over to turn the volume down on the boombox. What he didn't see was that the boss had stopped at the stop sign in front of him. McMillan punched the gas and hit the boss's car very hard. No doubt shaken, the boss got out, looked at both cars, and then said, "McMillan, you are not too smart, are you?" It didn't go any further than that. McMillan said his boss showed him forgiveness and grace, and he never forgot that moment. Be present. Plan for what you want, but enjoy the here and now. Find work that you like to do. It's so much better than the alternative. And assume people have the right intent and will do the right thing. If it doesn't happen, show them grace. The thoughts of Walmart CEO Doug McMillan. Something to chew on today. That's the extra point. Be responsible and make something good happen today. For 93.3 FM, The Ray Gibson Show and First Hawaiian Bank. I'm Jerry Roberts.
Did not Walmart just in the last couple of days? I mean, they've done some bloodletting among this million-plus people that they've got working for them, and called many of them back towards headquarters. The idea is they'd be able to work a whole lot faster with everybody kind of in the same geographical area.
I didn't hear that story, but it wouldn't surprise me. That's kind of the same thing that Elon Musk has been suggesting, and other people, that we need you here inside the building, because that's where all the thoughts come together, and better thoughts come from those, and we work together collaboratively, and it'll push us further and to do better. A lot of people are coming to that conclusion. The remote work thing is okay for some, but there are certain jobs and certain applications where you need people together.
Another thought. Just before you go, you've heard that President Joe Biden has issued an invitation to debate former President Donald Trump.
Really?
And Donald Trump has accepted.
Really?
It will be on CNN.
CNN.
On CNN, they're putting it on CNN. Apparently, they don't want anybody to watch the debacle. It'll be on the 27th of June. Robert Kennedy complaining that he has not been invited. CNN people are saying you just don't have enough positive survey results in order to be
the answer
asked to the
is
stage.
We don't want you to embarrass the other two.
Yeah.
That's what the real
could
deal
be some
is.
of that as well. Anyway, so get to all. I know you got some work that you got to take care of today.
Okay.
So if you you'll jam us. Okay, this is Jerry Robertson, the Extra Point, again brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank. 1551 hot ticket on the Extra Point on GuamTraining.com yesterday, so you might want to go and take a look at that and download your copy, because it was good.
1551 was 2 days ago.
And then 1550, the one we did yesterday was good too.
1552 was
Download everything. It should be the new Bible. Thank you very much. I'll try to keep all of those numbers in my head. It's 7:30. It's 7:36. There's another set of numbers, and time for our 7:30-ish news, being brought to you by the guys over at Burger King. 35 years they've been doing Whoppers in this town. Want to keep doing it for at least another 35. So swing by there and grab the 35th anniversary promo cup with any large Whopper, bacon, King, or Royal Chicken Combo meal at BKU Rule. Pika's Best Realty of 2023. That's Half a Day Realty, led by Saran and Jody and Libby and Antiloli, and an incredible team of professionals waiting to make all of your real estate dreams come true. Don't have any? Sit down with Auntie Loli. She'll give you some dreams to think about. 588-4232 is the telephone number. You can send them an email at halfadayrealty@gmail.com. That's the easy way. Now we jump into news and headlines with Donna D. Donna, what's going on?
Chief Medical Examiner Dr. Jeffrey Nine has relocated off-island, triggering a legal review of his proposal to work remotely. As the search for his replacement continues, the Commission on Post-Mortem Examinations is finalizing an agreement for his remote work. Dr. Nine believes many of his duties can be handled remotely, while Medical Examiner's Office Admin Assistant Johanna Bomba awaits certification as a death investigator. The commission, chaired by AG Doug Moylan, will reconvene next Wednesday. And Senator Jesse Lujan leads a bipartisan efforts for Bill 305, seeking qualifying certificate tax incentives for a private entity to construct a new hospital. The bill aims to break the deadlock between senators and Adelup on the new hospital's location. These certificates may offer up to 100% rebate on income tax liability and use tax for up to 30 years, providing substantial financial support. Lujan's measure mandates development plans within 6 months of passage and construction by the end of 2025. And forecasters are monitoring a weather disturbance named Invest 93W to the south. While no significant development is expected in the next days, forecasts vary after tomorrow. One model suggests potential tropical cyclone development near Truk and Yap State, moving towards the Philippine Sea next week. Residents are warned against relying on social media model depictions and advised to stay updated with official weather information. And those are your local headlines. Back to Ray.
Listen to us on the radio. Follow us around. We will send you in the direction of actual and factual National Weather Service, Landon and Brandon Idlet approved weather information. Right now, it's just something to be aware of. If it becomes one of these moments where you need to think about biscuito, and you should always be thinking about biscuito and spam. But if it becomes one of those moments where you do need to start thinking in that direction, trust me, we will, as I have and others have done over the last 45 some odd years, be on the radio with you, telling you everything that you need to know about it. In 20 minutes, it'll be 8 o'clock. I'll be right back. JV International Safety Equipment has it all for you. Fall protection, rain gear, traffic signs, speed bumps, custom signs and banners, PPEs, fire extinguishers, plus more. Check them out on Facebook at JV International Safety Equipment Company or visit their website, www.jvisec.com. JV International Safety Equipment, Guam's leader in occupational and environmental safety equipment. Call 688-9524. JV International Safety Equipment, located in Harmon Industrial Park. Celebrating Burger King's 35th anniversary, Whopper Wednesday is back. Every Wednesday in May, visit any Burger King restaurant, say, I love the Whopper, and get a free flame-grilled Whopper sandwich with the purchase of any large-size Whopper combo meal. Top off your meal with French fries, onion rings, or halvesies, and a refreshing Coca-Cola. Tell your family and friends, and enjoy your Whopper Wednesday only in May. Available at BK Tumon Bay, Hunganya, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. Thank you, Guam, for 35 years from your friends at Burger King. You rule. I see it now. 7:40 in the morning. That's beyond the box time at the Micronesia. I don't have a picture of it, but I saw it yesterday, and it caused me to go and get more information. They've got, and it's not expensive. It is a full-blown portable karaoke system. Yes. Okay. So it has 2 wireless microphones on it, and it has got, instead of coming with like a library of stuff, it has a chip on the inside that will automatically remove the vocals from the song. And then you can sing along with it. I mean, it's not, they've been making equipment that does this for a long time, but this one does it digitally, and I'm sure that there's probably a little bit of AI in there to make sure that it can be done right. And so I urge you, God, I should be doing this in Tagalog, right? I'm sorry. Are there any Filipino?
implore you.
Are there any Filipino households that don't have a karaoke system in them? If yours does not, then by all means, before the next boodle fight, you need to make sure that you go beyond the box and grab yours today, because at the prices they're talking about and the capabilities they're talking about, it's not going to last forever. 742, and just a note here, portions of the program made possible by the guys over at Island Cancer Center. Actually, there's some ladies there as well. I talked to a lady there that is in love with her job, being able to help people, and that's number one, but being able to help people with the latest and greatest state-of-the-art technology. They're talking about technology that we've got here on Guam that they don't have in a lot of other places in the Pacific. So, I hate to say it, but if you're concerned, if there's cancer in the family, make sure that their family treats your family. Well, there it is. There's the noise that sends me to the weather maps. The traffic map. See if I can find if there's any traffic for you this morning. It's 7:42. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot. There's more traffic that is going up towards the intersection of 1 and 16. I'm sorry, 1 and where's that? That's McDonald's, right? Up in Datadoo, Harmon area. It looks like we've got slow traffic on the other side of that McDonald's intersection on Route 16. Otherwise, 16 and 1, Micronesia Mall looking pretty good. 1 and 3, not so bad here this morning. And almost non-existent traffic all the way through Jigo into the Dedado area. I'm not seeing anything until you get to 1 and 3. So be on the lookout for that. Looking like a lot more traffic in the Tamuning area this morning, heading into let me see, that Donkey Village? Yep, that's Donkey Village. Looks like a little bit busy on that intersection. Also busy on the Harmon Industrial Park side over by Kmart. Once you get down into the downtown Tamuning area, it looks like everything from the ITC building and even the Jimmy D's locations are looking pretty good. Don't see a whole lot dogging out traffic on Route 8. Route 4 looking pretty good. Still busy again over at 4 and 10 over people trying to turn into that Tai intersection. And a lot more traffic in front of the Cost You Less intersection for some reason. Not entirely sure what's going on. 7:43, there's your right now traffic. This is The Point.
Wow, nice smile. So perfect and all.
Thanks. I owe it all to Dr. Robert Yang and his smile team. They do wonders for a healthy, happy mouth.
Got teeth? Don't wait until they hurt. Schedule your routine checkup and cleaning with Dr. Yang and his smile team. Suite 119 in the East-West Business Center, Upper Tumon. Call 647-8702 or 3.
The best thing that happened to teeth since toothpaste.
Dr. Yang and his smile team.
They make smiles happen.
Always here to help you. This island is our home. Through the years, we've been a friend to the neighbors we have known. Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
The Coconut Wireless is back. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Better believe it, Brown. 7:45, and I got to do a shout here to a new listener. I'm sure there's plenty of new listeners all the time, but this guy actually outed himself. He said, it's Jack LeMay on the YouTube side says, good morning, Mr. Gibson. Mr. Gibson. Says, I was TDY at Anderson Air Force Base in 1972. Thanks to Randy Landis, I'm watching you on YouTube. Says, Jack LeMay, Master Sergeant, U.S. Air Force, retired. All right. And I'm going to give this, the Master Sergeant.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, absolutely. A lot of respect. Brian Chargaloff says, Nanny stayed on Guam. If you intend to enforce mandates, laws, etc., then start by enforcing every part of the Adequate Education Act. Those of you that want to pull me over for not wearing my seatbelt. Yeah, it's like that. Anyway, 7:45, I got Senator Jesse Anderson Lujan on the line.
You do, sir.
And normally I say good morning and yada, yada, yada. But in this case, I'm going to say, Toka, you're going to get it. The doctors are circling their wagons against Bill 305, Senator. Just an FYI, friendly warning here.
Well, hey, good morning, Ray. Good morning, Real Joe and Donna D. And rightfully so at this point. I've got to say, Ray, I apologize because yesterday when it was introduced, this bill went through 5 reiterations, 5 drafts. I was down to the senior citizens yesterday when I told the staff to introduce it. It was on my desk, and unfortunately, the 4th draft was the one on my desk. It wasn't the final draft, and it was the 5th draft that was supposed to be the one introduced. And unfortunately, it was the 4th draft that was introduced with the wrong wordings. And you're absolutely right. Section 7, Section 8, and Section 9 were part of the 4th draft, and those sections that said without further legislative approval were taken out in the 5th draft. And unfortunately, we're still in the 4th draft, but that was the one on my table yesterday, and that was the one that was taken and introduced. And I tell you right now, as soon as the clerk's office opens at 8 o'clock, the bill is going to be withdrawn and reintroduced with the 5th draft with the corrected version.
Where there was specific language, which includes without further legislative approval. I don't think it's wise in any case for the legislature to give up what little power it has. Under our Organic Act.
Exactly. You got to remember that this went through, again, 5 drafts until we came to the final version, and the fifth version is what was circulated. Unfortunately, what was on my desk was the 4th version of it, or the 4th draft on it, and I put a big no in the back. But unfortunately, it was faced up, and that was the one that was submitted. And I apologize, and rightfully so. The doctors are up in arms of that because.
But that's not the only thing. That's not the only thing they're upset about. And among them, I think there's a distrust of not necessarily the legislature. Well, maybe a little bit the legislature, but certainly ADLOOP, because the concern that they are expressing now, in addition to the without further legislative approval, which, as you indicate, will be removed in future versions of this, or have been removed in future versions of this. It includes the identification of the authorities in that the Chamorro Land Trust Commission will be authorized to commence negotiations. That's Section 7. Section 8, the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission is hereby authorized to commence negotiations. The evaluation and approvals will be done under the Guam Economic Development Authority. All 3 of those parts of the government of Guam, those people all work for ADLOOP. And there are concerns that there's, again, too much authority that has been being given to these departments and agencies, where the governor can say, all right, well, tell you what, you will work in the direction of making sure that this new hospital complex gets built up in Barragata.
Well, Ray, let me say that these properties with the CLTC or the ancestral lands, okay, those fall under the executive branch. GITA is the executive branch. We've got to work with the executive branch. We cannot just ourselves, the legislature, build the hospital. This has to be a concerted effort between, the 2 branches of government.
That's not my understanding, though.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry. That's not my understanding. I mean, that's why the governor has sent legislation to the legislature to help determine the location. Obviously, she's been pressing for Barragata. Members of the legislature are pressing for Tamuning. In fact, many members of the community are pressing for Tamuning.
I'm included in Tamuning. I've always voted for Tamuning, and I always think it's the right place to have it. The infrastructure is there. As a matter of fact, this bill calls for a QC for private developer to I'm sure that whoever the private developer or hospital organization that wants to build on Guam, they're going to do their own due diligence. They'll look at the matrix study and look at, of course, the study that was performed. They're going to look at where the infrastructure is at, where the medical clinics are at, and all that, and proximity to the hospital, and then they'll make their decision based on that. But this is based on again identifying the areas that the matrix had identified. And it's up to the private developer. Again, if they're going to put tens of millions or not hundreds of millions of dollars, again, in developing a hospital, they're going to do their own due diligence, and they're not going to want to spend tens of millions or $100 million just for the infrastructure.
Well,
alone.
build a hospital that nobody can. Yeah, they just build a hospital that nobody can get to, and it will cost them a whole hell of a lot more to sink in the utilities and the infrastructure.
That's right, and you got to remember, because they're a private developer, a private investment, they're going to want a return in their investment, and how soon they're going to have that investment return. And so again, it's not the government that's going to build it. It's not the government that's going to put out the financing. It's the private developer, and they're going to and it'll be a government hospital, and they're going to say, what's the ability for the government to pay back again for that hospital.
Well, so, if we give them the rebates, if we give them 100% tax rebate and no use taxes for 30 years, that I think would be sufficient incentive for somebody to come out and at least express an interest in where this hospital is going to go and what they want to do with it. Now, will it also ensure that a third party, an independent third party, is in charge of the management and the operations of this new hospital?
That's exactly one of the reasons why we put this out there, because the private developer, because the contractor doesn't have to be the one who runs the hospital. Yeah. They're going to be able to, want to look at private management to manage that. I mean, they're not just going to hand it to Gov Guam and say, hey, okay, you know what, we spend these hundreds of millions of dollars, and then within the next couple of years, we're going to face the same situation that GMH is facing right now. So private management will be again the one that would manage the hospital, but make sure that ensuring, and that's where the executive branch comes in, Ray, that the employees and things of that nature in regards to not turning anybody away comes into the negotiations that it is a public hospital with public-private partnership and build, operate, and transfer.
I feel the framework. I feel what it is that you're trying to do. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure, and it's not that I have a distrust of any process that cannot be reviewed and what is it? The advice and consent on a going forward basis of the legislature. I think in every step of the process, things have got to come back to the legislature for your advice and consent and approval.
Absolutely, no, absolutely, and like I said, the mistake, this is my mistake, and so I take that. So Section 7, 8, and 9, those provisions or those wordings have been removed. Unfortunately, again, the wrong bill the wrong draft was introduced, and that will be corrected this morning. There is reintroduced with a new version. But the other thing, Ray, what I don't want this hospital to be is like the Simone Sanchez. That is, when I was even the 27th Guam legislature, we're talking about building Simone Sanchez. And one of the things that we don't want to do at this point is, why do we need a construction management at this point? All these new schools were built without a construction management contract. And put it this way, whoever's going to build the school, we go for an RFP, whoever's going to build the school, that contractor or that developer is going to have to go to the bond market. Okay, those bondholders are going to want to hire their own construction management to make sure that their interest is taken care of. So, in this point, why is the government having to hire a construction manager for who's it's not their money, it's not the government's money, it's going to be the private developer that's going to be funding this. So when a private developer goes to the bond market and gets that money for them, the bond market's going to say, hey, look, we want to protect our interests, we want to protect the bond money that you're borrowing from us, we're going to hire a construction manager. So for myself, remove the construction management contract, get the private developer to build it, because the bond market, the bond holders are the ones that are going to hire the construction management.
It would be redundant. It would be redundant to put it in the legislation. Now, there is one feature of the legislation that I do approve of, and that is to have a deadline deadline on it. The section was in section 1 refers to this phrase: the development and financing plan for the new hospital or medical complex shall be determined within 6 months of passage of this legislation, and construction must begin no later than December 31st of 2025. So I'm glad there's a deadline on it, but there's nothing specific about what happens after that deadline. So it's January the 1st, 2026. We haven't broken ground yet. Then what?
Well, here's the thing, Ray, and that's the beauty of public hearings of this thing. And even before the public hearing, we're already having the public hearing at this point because it's correcting the mistakes that have happened already. Yeah, right. Absolutely. So you're the first in line for any public hearing that one has, right? And so that being said, now when they come in to testify for the bill, for it or against it, they may want to take out a section. These sections that we put in here, these are sections that are identified by matrix. And if they want to take out section 8, that's fine. If they want to take out section 7, that's fine. And just leave section 9, any other lot that they deem feasible to build, that's fine as well. We need to build a hospital, and we need to build it fast. And this cannot continue to linger on again because unlike schools that we have right now, they're looking at building temporary a school right now for Simone Sanchez. We only have one private hospital.
And they could have done that years ago. What is it? Can you go and tillick somebody about that? This is a solution that they could have done years ago. And I all of a sudden it's like, okay, we're going to do this. I'm not crazy about it because you know how it is. Everything that's temporary ends up being permanent in this town. But this could have been done before. Absolutely, Ray. And that again, that's the beauty about a public hearing and something like that is to better the bill, and we already did so by having our first public hearing right here on the radio. There we go. Obviously, I'll be watching this very, very closely. I know the doctors have expressed their concerns, and I've gotten some of that out there. We'll see how it works in the future.
And rightfully so, because it was a mistake, and it was a mistake that was an honest mistake, and again, I'm not throwing my staff under the bus. It was on my desk. I told him it was right on my desk. Unfortunately, it was the fourth draft that was on my desk. The other one was on my briefcase. And it was my mistake.
That's okay. That's okay.
It was mine.
It was. I missed you on the trip. I was kind of hoping that you'd be a part of the trip out to Narita for the Haneda opening reception and others. That was a good time. We were all very, very well represented by Mayor Tony Chargaloff in the beautiful village of Inalahan. I was there, and a buddy of mine sent me a copy of the picture. There's a big reception picture that they took. Everybody got up on the stage, and there's a picture of me and one of my buddies, Doug Johnson from with the Stars and Stripes, says, "You are the biggest badass there ever was because you're actually wearing a hat in the picture." And the reason is because I needed a haircut real bad. And so I wore a hat everywhere I went. But yeah, double down on the badass stuff. 7:58. Senator, I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Ray. Real Joe and Don D. Thank you very much.
Right on. 888-8255, 888-TALK. Wouldn't be a morning without some, a little bit of balance from Simon Sanchez, who writes, "The legislature sets policy. The executive branch executes. The legislature can't issue QCs or RFPs for public and private partnerships to build and operate a hospital. To then have the legislature approve a subsequent executive branch procurement or tax rebates will only create doubt by private investors. At GPA, we don't have to go back to the legislature for awarded context. That's how we built solar farms and are building Ugadoo and future power assets." Senator Lujan is on the right track. Otherwise, we already have the insanity we have. So there. But I just don't. My faith in the system somehow or another has been shaken, and so I would like to see a little bit more by way of just every once in a while run this by and make sure everything is on the up and up and cool. 7:59 and change. 888-8255 888-TALK is the telephone number. Somebody had asked out loud somewhere where the GPA was working on hardening of the systems, and the answer is yes. They have been working on the conversation about hardening the systems and getting storm ready. And Tracy says, "I blame you for this. You were talking about typhoons yesterday, cussing the typhoon gods, and look what happens." And her last words, "Fix this." All right, I'll do what I can. We'll boil some rocks over at Casa Gibson. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, or darn close to it. KUSG getting you 93.3. This is The Point. Fox News Live coming up next. Donna D with news and headlines. And another couple of rollicking hours ahead for you right here on 93.3. Pika's Best. This is The Point.
The dates are set. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. President Biden and former President Trump agreeing to go head-to-head in a pair of debates.
President Joe Biden on X posting a video asking for 2 debates. Within 2 hours, former President Trump accepted that debate challenge. The first one, June 27th on CNN. The second one, September 10th on ABC. Here's how President Biden made the ask.
Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
So the Trump campaign national press secretary says that they prefer to have an audience for these debates. One of the mandates, though, for Joe Biden is that it's just the 2 of them.
Fox's Edward Lawrence. President Biden's already said he won't take part in fall presidential debates sponsored by the Commission on Presidential Debates. The Supreme Court has ordered Louisiana to hold congressional elections this year using a map with a second mostly black district, despite a lower court ruling that called the map an illegal racial gerrymander. Russian President Vladimir Putin has arrived in Beijing for a 2-day state visit. This comes as Russia has become more economically dependent on China since Russia's war in Ukraine. Investigators in Florida say they've identified the man who was operating the boat that struck and killed a 15-year-old girl over the weekend.
Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission officers finding and seizing a boat in Coral Gables they believe was involved in the hit-and-run incident Saturday that killed 15-year-old Ella Adler. Officials not revealing the 78-year-old owner's name, noting no criminal charges have been filed, but say he is cooperating with law enforcement. Adler, the granddaughter of U.S. Ambassador to Belgium Michael Adler, a student at Ransom Everglades School in Coconut Grove.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. Wall Street, all 3 major indexes hit record highs as government figures show inflation cooling. The Dow added 349, the Nasdaq gained 231, the S&P plus 61. America is listening to Fox News.
Introducing My Rewards from 76 Circle K, a new and exciting way to fuel your savings. Get rewarded while purchasing your favorite items like Circle K coffee, Polar Pop, hot dogs, and more. Save 25 cents off per gallon and fuel your savings with My Rewards. Download the My Rewards Guam app. 25 cents off per gallon is valid for up to 20 gallons. One time per day. Certain exclusions apply. Visit 76circlekguam.com for more details.
Boss, I got run over by a forklift.
Boss, I crashed a company truck.
What do we do? Our warehouse and inventory are gone.
Hi, this is Dave Silva from AB Risk Solutions, and it's time for Risk 101. Everything you just heard are examples of risk your businesses can face. Our job is to ask the hard what-if questions and teach you how to reduce your exposures and help you recover if things go sideways. We've got decades of experience in Micronesia working with businesses big and small. Call AB Risk Solutions today at 777-2668 for a free inspection and quote.
AB Risk Solutions, formerly known as Aon.
NYU becomes the latest school to have students walk out of the graduation ceremony as they demand the school divest from Israel.
Before Wednesday's commencement at Yankee Stadium was complete, about 24 students walked out to protest the ongoing conflict in Gaza and to repeat their calls for the university to divest from Israel. An NYU spokesperson telling Fox News in part, quote, today's commencement was a joyful 2.5 hours for the 40,000 NYU grads and guests at Yankee Stadium. A tiny fraction of the crowd walked out. It had no impact on the proceedings, end quote. Today's demonstration follows dozens of others across the country during commencement ceremonies and graduations. CB Cotton, Fox News.
Over the weekend, some students at Duke University walked out as comedian Jerry Seinfeld was delivering the commencement speech. After a deadly ambush, the search is on in France for an escaped prisoner known as the Fly.
Mohamed Amra was sprung free from a convoy taking him from court to prison in northern France, described by officials as an act of cold-blooded barbarity. In the ambush, a car was rammed into his van at a checkpoint. 2 guards were shot dead and 3 others seriously hurt. Amra, who's 30, is said to have ties to a gang in the southern French city of Marseille. All means are being used to find these criminals, says France's Interior Minister. 450 police and gendarme paramilitary officers have been mobilised. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
The military says the remains of a 17-year-old soldier from Michigan who was killed in the Korean War in 1950 have been identified. U.S. Army Private First Class Thomas A. Smith's remains were identified in September by military scientists. Smith, who was from Grant, Michigan, will be buried in that city at a date yet to be determined. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
Tunay na kaibigan at handa para sa inyo. Ang bangko ng kinabukasan, laging maaasahan. Pan Pacific, where others dug branches, we place roots.
KFC's Extra Tasty Spicy is here to set every moment on fire. Spice up your day with a dash of extreme spicy. Available in battered fries, boneless crispy strips, and KFC crispy chicken. Order the Extra Tasty Spicy and get ready for a fiery feast. Enter KFC's spiciest era yet. Get your fix at your favorite KFC today or order online at kfcguam.com. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Half a day, I'm Jen from Guam.
Moyethin, I'm Tina from Yap.
I'm Joy from Chuk.
And we want to invite you to
GMIF 2024.
The Guam Visitors Bureau brings you the 36th Annual Guam Micronesia Island Fair on June 1st and 2nd at Ipao Beach Park. The fun starts at noon and continues until 10 p.m. Join us for a weekend of food, art, and entertainment from all the islands. Don't miss out. Let's bring our islands together and regenerate Micronesia. The GMIF 2024, another GVB signature event.
Your 8 o'clock local news is brought to you by Family Finance.
Half a day, it's 8:06. I'm Donna DeJesus with a look at your local news on The Point. An investigation is underway at Guahan Academy Charter School after a video surfaced of a staff member reportedly shouting profanities during a lockdown. Residents expressed their shock, with some criticizing the handling of the incident. The school claims the matter was not reported, leading to a public outcry. An anonymous tip claims corruption within the school, citing poor management and turnover issues and calling for the school to stop covering things up. They claim Guahan Academy should not have been renewed, calling the charter school administration's immaturity, abuse of power, and ability to manipulate overwhelming. The board is urged to address concerns immediately. And ahead of the May legislative session, senators are eyeing bills to ban nuclear energy and marijuana testing. Senator Joseph Augustine proposes $9 million for road repairs. Senator Will Parkinson seeks to prohibit marijuana testing for various applications. Senator Chris Barnett aims to expedite appeals for ARP projects. Senator Sabina Perez introduced a bill to prohibit nuclear energy and radioactive material disposal on Guam. Additionally, Senator Chris Duenas pushes for bills allowing accessory dwelling units and new toilet facilities to address affordable housing shortages. The Rules Committee meets today to finalize the agenda. More news after this.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545 or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
In a continuing legal battle, Judge Elise Iriarte has denied motions from both sides in the $220 million land dispute between GWA and Cortec. While clarifying key aspects, the court hasn't determined if Cortec owns the land housing the Northern District wastewater treatment plant. GWA has spent over $1.4 million on attorneys, with more authorized by the PUC. Cortec claims ownership, seeking damages for unpaid rent since 1980. Recent motions for reconsideration were rejected. A status hearing was rescheduled for next Thursday. And high school students can now register for summer construction trades classes offered by GDOE and the GCA Trades Academy. The classes run from June 3 to July 9 and cover core curriculum, construction craft laborer levels 1 and 2. Upon completion, students receive a National Center for Construction Education and Research certification. Interested students should contact their school counselors for registration. You can also email David Camacho from the Division of Curriculum and Instruction at davccamacho@gdoe.net, or Elizabeth Aguero from GCA Trades Academy at liza@gcatradesacademy.org. The program is funded by the U.S. Department of Education's consolidated grant to the outlying areas. And those were your top stories. Now back to Ray with weather.
Did I already tell you the price of gas went down while you were sleeping last night? I want to give you good news. I want you to wake up happy this morning. I want you to be able to drive. And you know, the only people for whom that's not good news is the people that put gas in their car yesterday. You just go on $5.30 a gallon, and now it's $5.20 a gallon. Wait. Yesterday, and I wish. But I'm not an expert at the ways of Tapas crude and our fossil fuel industry here on Guam. I'm not sure 1,000% of what the thinking is that goes into it and what those magic milestones are in the price of the Tapas oil from out of Singapore. But yesterday I did remark that the price of Tapas crude had gone down fairly significantly. It was a decent jump, and that maybe it would be cause for a dime drop in the price of gasoline, in the very least, maybe 5 cents. But I wasn't very definitive about it, and I'm really, really sorry. Today it's $83.53 for a barrel of Tapas. Yesterday it was $83.47, but obviously that's not enough to make it to make them want to go high. So it was 80 the other day. This is what led to the price decrease. The other day, Tapas was at $84.66 a gallon. When we were talking on the radio yesterday, it was $83.47. So that's a big enough drop down where the gas companies will say, okay, well, we can take a little bit off the price of a gallon of gasoline. And they did. It's up, but only by a few cents here today, about 8 cents. So $83.53 is where Tapas is. Might as well give you all the other numbers. West Texas crude, $78.80. That's up by 76 cents for West Texas crude. That might have an impact on the price of electricity down the road, but we'll watch. And if you're going to Japan, a little bit stronger of a yen against the dollar. It's 154.99. Yesterday it was 156.45. Going to the Philippines, 57.36 pesos against that dollar. And South Korean won looking pretty good at 1,354. A tiny bit stronger for those guys as well. But it's still, I think, going to be pretty good for travel out to South Korea, which is something on my bucket list. I want to try to get a trip on that sometime in the next... You okay? You got some on me. Ew. But anyways, so I want to see if I can get something like that done in the next couple of years. Shopping, dining, goofing off, nightlife, whatever it is that they have in Korea that makes them look so happy in all of those videos that I watch on TikTok. You know, the Gundam style videos. I mean, they still got that kind of thing going. And these South Koreans just look crazy happy. Whatever Moses or Mighty Purple, whatever it is that they've got down, the color purple in Naganya. The Koreans, even though they're standing outside, fully dressed. Like church clothes. Yeah,
down to the
fully
ankles.
Dressed. And outside waiting for their color purple thing. They all look happy out there. Anyway, 8:12 in the morning. I'm supposed to do weather, right? All right, here's the weather for... We need to go back to the Korean hot pants visitors. I think we're getting too many moms. Partly sunny with highs near 89 degrees. East winds 11 to 16 miles an hour. Gusts as high as 23. It got mostly cloudy tonight with overnight lows of about 78 degrees. What you need to know over the next couple of days isn't so much, partly sunny, mostly sunny, whatever. It's the fact that it's going to be windy. So we've got some gusts today up in the 20s. We got some more and as high as about 24 by the time it gets to be Saturday. So just be wary of that. Things that look like they might fall down or could use a little bit more lashing down. Go ahead and do that. With the heat index, it'll feel like 94 over the next couple of days. 30% chance of rain. We need it. Sunset tonight will be at 6:40 p.m. There it is. News and weather together on 93.3. This is The Point.
Stay cool all year round by checking out Johnstone Supply for your HVAC and refrigeration needs. Located at 170 Guerrero Drive on Picanel Road in Tamuning, call Johnstone Supply today at 671-649-0581. That's 671-649-0581. Open 8 a.m. to noon and 1 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Open Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and closed on Sundays. Stay cool with Johnstone Supply.
Choice Broadcasting and Lotte Hotel Guam present the 2024 Island Wedding Expo. Commit to showing up on May 19th. Join us in the Crystal Ballroom from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. A lucky couple will have a chance to win a round trip to Japan, courtesy of United Airlines. They must be present to win, so stick around and enjoy some of our fine sponsors.
Pretty Petals,
Vince Jewelers,
R. Lewis Wedding,
The Glam Shop,
Payless Floral,
Wedding by Cha,
Elle's Bridal,
Island Color and Copy,
Isla Jewelry,
Oven Lovin',
11th Essence,
DNA Custom Creations, locations.
The Dugout,
Lotte Hotel, and so much more. May 19th. Save the date.
I'm going. 8:14, Ray Gibson Show. Portion is brought to you by APL, American President Lines. A global presence with a local home. Also being brought to you by the team over at NissanGuam.com and the World Wide Web. Incredible rides. You take a look on the road, you see a lot of Nissans out there because a lot of people are realizing the incredible value, the sheer pleasure of owning a Nissan automobile. Service guys are absolutely fantastic, if you need them. Otherwise, the only reason why I take mine into the service is because it's time for the, whatever the scheduled service is going to be. Just absolutely terrific people. You'll love them from the second you step into the showroom, start talking to some of the incredible salespeople they've got there, and you'll like them even more when they say, oh, that's the one you like? 10 grand off for you. 4.99% APR on the deal. And, yeah, we'll write papers with your favorite banks. It's cool. That's the way they do that at NissanGuam.com.
Any speaker, anytime.
Anytime.
The Ray Gibson Show. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Oh, my God. They watch too many scary nuclear movies over at the legislature. Well, not all of them. There's 3 that have banded together. So one of a couple of measures that Chris Barnett and I are on opposite sides of. He wants to be a part of a group, including the Speaker of the Legislature. Again, one of a few things that we are on opposite sides on, working with Sabina Flores-Perez, who wants to
not her.
Prohibit the production and use of nuclear energy on Guam. This is something that they're going to be coming up with because we saw the movies and they're scary. China syndrome. Oh my God, it's going to melt down.
We're going to have like 12 fingers.
All the way to China. Yeah.
18 toes.
Watch that Chernobyl documentary. It wasn't a documentary. It was a TV show. It was a drama on HBO. Compelling to be sure, but there was no meltdown that happened. Sure, there's huge swaths of that part of Ukraine that you can't necessarily go into anymore, but whatever. It's the old Soviet Union, right? And I am not there. We have in this town. There's nuclear stuff here. All those cool submarines, SSN. You ever see that on the submarine? That's what the N stands for, is nuclear, which is incidentally how it's pronounced. And apparently, according to the news, the legislature is going to be talking about that and a number of other measures. I'm annoyed by this because I think it is a total knee-jerk reaction. And the people that are likely to do it are going to be doing it on the other side of the fence anyway, their side. So it would not necessarily have any kind of impact or effect on anything else that we do here other than shunt our ability to look at options. Now, I'm in favor of making electricity out of trash, and I think that if there is a way that we might be able to use current and improving technology and scalable technology to provide electricity to the people of Guam at a rate that we can afford moving forward into the future, why are they at the legislature proposing to prohibit the production and use of nuclear energy here on Guam? That I know of. They did have a public hearing on the measure, did vet it out with some people that are interested in these small modular reactors. But I was really disappointed with the almost haughty nature and almost cross-examination, hostile cross-examination of the witnesses that went to the legislature to teach them about this emerging technology.
Come on, man.
Right? I'm just saying.
Give us waste to energy or give us radiation. Either one.
Well, this is the one more thing before I get to the calls. This reminds me of the beginnings. If this kind of thinking was available back then, if this legislature was around back when they were first talking about electricity, we probably wouldn't have any. We probably wouldn't have any kind of electricity. There was a major debate going on about the direct current versus alternating current. And alternating current, I want to say that patent was held by Thomas Edison or somebody like that. And he was the guy that wanted to build power plants all over the place. And he made a big dog and pony show about how dangerous direct current is. And by example, the guy electrocuted elephants to make his point and to scare the hell out of everybody about a different kind or a different way that we might be able to do electricity. So I'm just saying, there's a whole lot of this knee-jerk thinking without waiting out what the possibilities could be for the people of Guam. 8:19 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Let me grab this. It's a doctor. Last hour, Oh, my God, I've got two doctors on the line. I'm going to bring both of them in and just count on them not to talk over each other. I'm sorry, I think I dropped Dr. Wen. Dr. Wen, call me back. Dr. Akimoto on the line. Spent some time with Senator Jesse Anderson Lujan in the last hour of the program. He was talking about a measure, Bill 305, that was inadvertently introduced. A version of it was inadvertently introduced to the legislature. He's going to withdraw that and put in one that does not have language that has already riled members of the medical community, and that is without further legislative approval in Section 7, 8, and 9. Dr. Akimoto, Dr. Wen, welcome to the program.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Vince. Anyway, good morning, Ray. And everyone in Guam.
Good to have you back online. I'd taken a look at the measure. I was curious about it because I wasn't sure what mechanism was in there that was going to help guarantee that we would resolve the issue about the location of the hospital in any kind of time, and what would happen if we missed the deadline to begin construction by December 31st of 2025. You both heard the interview. What other concerns do you have as he moves forward with a version that I think by now you ought to be a little bit more familiar with?
Yeah, I think, the version he has that he put out is totally just one-sided. The governor really have the complete power to decide which location the new hospital will be, because GIDA and the Chamorro Land Trust is under governor control. So it makes absolutely no sense. And, we understand that the people will ultimately decide, and I think this legislature hearing and the bill already from Senator Barnett already represent the people voice where they want to be. If you really want to have the people voice, I was asked, Senator Jesse Lujan to put the location, the new hospital, on the ballot for the people to vote. Right, that's what the true voice is. And whatever the true voice of the people is, we as the medical community will support that, but at this point, this Bill 305-37, it absolutely makes no sense, because even the private entity for the QC to come in, they still need to have approval from GIDA and approval from the Chamorro Land Trust in order to begin the construction. And that again is under control of the governor, and it has to be somehow check and balance with the legislature. They have to approve it, so that's our concern. And to me, I think Senator Frank Blas should go back and follow what his wishes in the past, is that make sure GMH have some updated. The air conditioner and L&D still not working. The split AC still have no power. That's 5 months already. And those are stuff that the care for the certain people. There's no improvement. The past 5 to 6 months. So what he want to not vote in the past for Senator Barnett, he really need to go back and make sure those things that he wants to do to improve the healthcare of Guam with GMH and the certain care, have to go through with that. There's no update on that at all.
Well, it's worth pointing out that Senator Barnett's name is not on Bill 305, and it only has 3 Republicans. Well, 2 Republicans for sure. Jess Lujan and Frank Blas Jr. He who shall not be named is also on the list of co-pilots on this. But the rest of them are Democrats. But I don't see Teresa's name on this. I don't see Sabina's name on this. I don't see Amanda's name on this. I don't see Chris Barnett's name on this.
Yeah, it's just wonder when near the election, only this bill coming out is really. I don't know. If you want to win some vote, you got to do something else. But it's really a waste of time to debate on this one. That's my opinion, and I think the medical community opinion are the same as mine.
I think the medical community has spoken quite loudly. So it's another venue for which that we can make the argument. I don't disagree with you. I think the argument has been made, and a vote from among our representatives in the 37th Guam legislature has also been concluded. I think maybe now would be an interesting time to have in this May session that they're going to be going into. I think it would be interesting to find out if senators like Therese, I'm sorry, not Therese, but Vice Speaker Tina Munoz-Barnes will continue to support the legislation that proposes the hospital up in Barragata. It seems to me that she and Frank Blas Jr. were pretty specific in their concerns about the existing Guam Memorial Hospital.
Yes, absolutely.
And the governor's office, you'll recall, just offhanded that and said, nah, there's no emergency at GMH, and a declaration of emergency isn't going to do anything to help us take care of those problems. They've got money. They've been given money. We've addressed this, and so we're not going to declare a state of emergency. And I will continue to say that the reason why they don't want to do that, they won't declare a state of emergency, is because it will acknowledge the failure that is Guam Memorial Hospital.
Yeah, well, that's correct. And, you know, I mean, right now, even the proposal of doing the birthing center at GMH, you know, it's going to cost $13-15 million. It's like 2 years to do. At this point, it's hard to believe they're going to go through with that. They can't even fix the AC and L&D right now. I mean, just do something to earn people's trust before you ask for more money to do birthing center. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, it take me into a whole other conversation about the argument about birthing centers, and your colleague Dr. Siddell took offense to some of the statements made by the legislature, which they took offense at almost immediately. Dr. Siddell, please don't quit. We need you there. And we need your wife running more 5Ks and races here on Guam. So we need the entire handsome Siddell family to stay on Guam. And can I get one of your German Shepherds? I don't, have you seen the German Shepherds that family's been breeding?
It's great.
Yes,
great.
yes,
But
they are.
Dr. Siddell is very good. We love him. So we will support him. But again, you know, I think GMH needs to fix the AC first and before you do anything else. And the mold update.
A mold update. Is there? I just assumed that nothing has changed from any of our conversations, any of the pictures that you've sent. Thank God it's not raining so much these days, so we don't have to worry about leaks coming in through the roof. But we've got leaks from pipes in the lobby.
Yes, we have the system next week, so hopefully it's not coming.
Oh, well, they're talking about a system. Hopefully, it will bring a little bit more rain around here, but not anything disastrous and destructive. Well, we talked long enough that Dr. Akimoto bailed, and I think you picked up on the points that he was going to talk about anyway. May I mention one other thing?
Yes, Ray.
I'm really disappointed that you're not on the ballot.
Ray, I make a very hard decision. I will be running 100% in 26. Just that my son is in school right now, last year in school, and he asked me to spend time with him. I think my family is the first thing. And my patient will ask me to give them some time because, you know, I have a lot of patient care. That's my responsibility. So, you know, when I get in there, Dre, I don't need a job to get in there. I get in there to try to make some change, right? I got a beautiful job at this point. But, you know, but my family and the patient come first. And I think that in 26, I will have much more time to devote myself to make some change for healthcare Guam. Because I want my son and my daughter and all the students in Guam that going to go to medical school to come back to Guam. And I want to make a change enough that people, those local students, want to come back to Guam. At this point, they don't want to. And that's sad. So, you know, but again, family and patient come first. So 2026, 100% I will commit to it.
Real Joe, write that down.
Right away, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Right away.
Okay, soon to be Senator Dr. Wen, thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you at Fabasa.
Thanks, Ray. Okay,
right.
Bye-bye.
888-8255-888-TALK. 8:28 in the morning. I do appreciate that. That's a good reason not to run for office. No.
Oh,
spend more time with the kids and with the family before we get locked into this oh my God lifestyle that is required to be somebody that is a member of the 37th Guam Legislature. I'm not feeling bad. I'm not throwing pity on you right now because you asked for the job and that's what the job entails. But I appreciate his eyes wide open way of looking at things. He said a couple of things that resonated. Cousin Ted Nelson says, yes, let the voters decide the new location, period. Clearly, this is something that is going to be mired and muddied in politics and the politics of the legislature and the politics of Adelup and where they intersect with the Adelup 6 and whoever it is that gets the phone call or the WhatsApp message that says, okay, we want you to vote no on this one. This is the deep throat from Adelup. You're voting no on this, you're voting yes on the other one, and you're voting, you're going to let them pass you twice Wait, this is very important. Make sure you pass twice and then come back and vote no, okay? That's the play that we're going to be doing here.
It's a medical gate.
There's people over at the legislature. I swear to God, that's what it looks like they're doing, is they're taking instructions on the WhatsApps from the other place. Now, I'm not going to single it out and say that they're Democrats, because I know that Republicans are capable of doing the same thing. I've seen it, where they do that rubberneck to see how everybody else is voting. At any rate, 8:29 in the morning, so Cousin Ted says so. He also says waste to energy power. Look at how Singapore is doing it. Look how Tokyo is doing it. You know, and an incredible amount of trash generated in Tokyo. And you know what they do with it there? They burn it. They burn it. And I didn't see any smokestacks. And I didn't smell any burning trash. And the place is relatively clean. The parts where it wasn't clean, where I thought it wasn't clean, was where they've got these little recycling centers. Some of the neighborhoods have got little places where people go, and instead of putting everything into their trash can, there are separation pods that they've got. So they will take here's the plastic trash, here's the paper trash, here's the aluminum, whatever's, and then they separate it that way. And they've got crows in Tokyo. And if the crows think there might be food in there, then they pick up the stuff and throw it all over the place. But otherwise, it was great. I got Roberto6 online saying buongiorno from Reno, Nevada. I know that, Roberto. That is Roberto Fracassini saying buongiorno from Reno, Nevada. And hope everything is working out okay. I got word from Tello Taitigui that everything is thumbs up, and I'm thrilled to hear about that. Letwin St. Nicholas says it's like JFK. Elvis Canata says, morning point, gang. Just here to establish my alibi. Appreciate that. Elvis will be happy to back you up. No, I'm sorry. He was with us on the radio show chiming in. Brian Chargaloff. Oh, wait. No, I already read that one. That was the one where he was critical about the story that we had. Maybe Donna will do it again in the headlines about how they've got the click it or ticket campaign. What do they want you to do? They want you to click your what do you call it? Your seatbelt into the thing, and if you don't, they threaten you with a ticket. Because if you don't put your thing, and if you don't click your seatbelt, you know what happens? You're the most dangerous driver on the road. It's the equivalent of being blackout drunk on the road because you're not wearing your seatbelt. For heaven's sakes, what a danger you are to the community. How selfish can you possibly be? Oh, wait a second. No, that's not what actually happens. The car will function just fine if you don't plug in your seatbelt. You will function just fine if you don't plug in your seatbelt. There's a really good possibility that somebody might cross the center line and then obliterate you and the vehicle. And if you're wearing your seatbelt, maybe you'll survive that. If you're not, there's a pretty good chance you won't survive that. But wow. Is it the government's call to tell you to do all of that stuff? It's a feel-good piece of legislation, and it's a feel-good policy. But the idea that the police on Guam are going to be pulling over people or doing citations for people not wearing their seatbelts is ridiculous to me, considering the amount of actual crime that I'd rather that they were doing. Actual people that are burglarizing people's houses and breaking into their cars and accosting them on their street, asking them for money in any number of ways that these crystal methamphetamine drug fiends have found to get some money into their hands so they can go and buy more crystal methamphetamine. All of a sudden, I'm the criminal. I'm not wearing my seatbelt, so I get the attention of the Guam Police Department. It's a matter of priorities, guys. Matter of priorities. Vince, if you and the guys over at DPW really want to do the people of Guam a favor, all right, here's what I'd like you to do. All of those signs that fell down a year ago in Mawar that are still on the ground, can we put those back? I know that the typhoon took out a lot of traffic lights, signal lights that we've got out there, and so we've had to do with sharing a couple of lights per lane. Did we not order any new ones? Did FEMA not come through with replacements for all of that stuff? And that traffic nipple that we've got over at GPO is the epitome of bad planning. And so if there are priorities for that part of the government of Guam, Vince, let me just point you in those directions. It's 8:33. Donna D has got a big look at news and headlines, and that's coming up after these.
Hungry for an unforgettable dining experience? Look no further than Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro, where every meal is a celebration of flavor and tradition. From mouth-watering appetizers to decadent desserts, every dish is crafted with passion and local flair. And with a warm and inviting atmosphere that feels like coming home. Dining at Mezcla Bistro is not just a meal, it's an experience to savor. Join us at Mezcla Bistro.
Routine dental checkup and cleaning.
Too many things.
Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile team. Conveniently located at the East West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumon. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3. Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
My God, there's already memes. There's already anti-Bill 305 memes floating around. Bill 305 with Jess and Frank. The Republicans will not get their minority or majority. Sorry, they want a majority this time. And then there's a picture of Frank Blush Jr. upside down, but the writing is right side up. It says no, frankly. Actually, shouldn't it say okay? That's his line, right, Donna D? Every time we interview him, Donna counts the number of times he says, okay. Anyway, 8:35 in the morning. Donna's got the last look at news and headlines. I'll take care of celebrity birthdays and more on the other side. Donna, what's going on?
3 brothers, Jonathan Michael Cruz, Jeremy James Cruz, and Eric Sean Cruz, charged with federal drug offenses after sharing package details on social media. Jonathan's Facebook post revealed a meth shipment. Authorities seized the package and found the drugs. The DEA monitored calls implicating the brothers. A warrant for Jonathan's Facebook and unveiled drug-related chats. The trio pleaded not guilty. Their trial is set for July. And Senator Sabina Perez introduced Bill 304, aiming to allocate $5 million from the general fund to GWA for customer assistance, complementing Bill 273. It aids eligible ratepayers and promotes water conservation. GWA estimates reveal potential costs of $5.03 million in fiscal year 2024, rising to $6.5 million by 2029. The bill addresses funding amid competition from other proposals, including extending energy credits proposed by Senator Will Parkinson's Bill 277. And Public Health is alerting travelers to keep vaccinations updated amidst pertussis or whooping cough cases in Hawaii and a measles outbreak in the Philippines. While Guam reports no recent cases, pertussis can be severe, causing prolonged coughing and complications, especially in infants. Measles are highly contagious, causing rash, fever, and cough. Travelers are advised to check the CDC for outbreak updates and vaccinate at least 2 weeks before travel. And that was your last look at local headlines on The Point. Now back to Ray.
Are those the same 2 weeks to flatten the curve?
Yeah.
They're fond of that. They like that schedule. That fits perfectly in all of the different paperwork that we've got to play around with. All right, time to get into all of this and an opportunity to make Donna go ew.
Who's there?
New research says that you probably don't need to wash your legs when you take a shower.
Huh? Is it because the water runs down from the rest of your
probably,
body?
Yeah, probably. And for most people, it's just not
you still
not
need
all
to
that
scrub
dirty.
the dead skin off.
Just wash your face and move on.
Just wash the stinky parts. This is the way I've always put it. Dr. Divya Shokeen says, I don't think you need to. Unless you're aggressively sweating and you just bike like 20 miles, yes, please wash your legs. Otherwise, you probably don't need to. I don't use bar soap.
That dries your skin.
That's among the concerns, but it's just that I
use body wash.
I use body wash. Yeah,
and a loofah.
No, I don't have a loofah. I got that Korean towel.
Oh, I have that too.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that.
There's
scratch your back with it.
Just to scratch your back, you just put the soap on it. Yeah. Good Brillo for Do it. There's nothing wrong with it. I love those things. I like the long one, and then I like the one that comes. It looks like a little flower. And you put your body wash on the inside of it. Oh my God, it feels like it's got that scrubby, I'm clean now feeling. But it's one of those things where every once in a while I'll just check and go, do I really need to get this down on my legs? But hiker.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, Donna's gonna say yes, I do. All right, celebrity birthdays. We were talking about this guy the other day.
Who?
Danny Trejo.
Oh,
Danny Trejo. What's the name of the woman he's got tattooed on his chest?
Oh man,
from Dawn till Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh,
Salma Hayek.
That's on his chest?
Yes, he's got a tattoo of Salma Hayek on. He's had it on his chest for a long time.
Machete.
Yeah, he played Machete, and so when he was they were going to be acting together in a film, and she was kind of freaked out about it, kind of scared because Danny Trejo is, among other things, an actual ex-con.
Yeah.
He'd actually been in jail and is not too far away from the characters that he plays. Now, when you see him on television now, on Oprah or something like that, guy's a pussycat. But,
I heard he's really nice.
Back in the day, he must have been a force to be reckoned with. Danny Trejo, 80 years old. Pierce Brosnan.
80, wow.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Pierce Brosnan is 71 years old. And I'm trying to think. I think this might
was
be...
Was he 007?
Yes.
That was fast.
Pierce Brosnan was a 007. And some will say the best one.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, my God, Mrs. Doubtfire. He looked like such a fish out of water. I mean, the character looked like a fish out of water in all of that.
Handsome.
Pierce Brosnan, yes, like me. At any rate, Deborah Winger, from An Officer and a Gentleman, is 69 years old. I'm trying to remember if there was a little bit of crushy going on when she was in
69.
Officer and a Gentleman. What do we got?
What number am I thinking of?
Janet Jackson is 58 years old.
Wow.
Gave us the term wardrobe malfunction.
What have you done for me lately?
One of the most the TiVo was out when they did that. So the TiVo people said, and it's amazing the data they can capture off of then that digital technology. TiVo said that up until then, that was the most watched, rewatched, screen captured piece of television in the history of the median. When they came out and had that wardrobe malfunction in the Super Bowl game, I don't think it was a malfunction. I think it was totally calculated, and they just an opportunity for them to push the envelope.
You think? Yeah, it looked like an accident.
No,
because he looked shocked, like, oh my God.
Well, he didn't know what was going on. I don't think he knew what was going on. I think everybody else knew exactly what was going to happen. Tucker Carlson is 55 years old today. I'd like Tucker Carlson. This next debate that they're going to be doing, the debate that the Biden versus Trump, I would prefer that Tucker Carlson got to mediate that. I would prefer that he'd be able to do that. Just because the questions would get freaky, because he's been getting freaky lately with guests and questions. Tori Spelling is 51 years old.
Oh.
Nothing. Okay. How about this? How about this?
Doesn't matter.
Well, Real Joe.
Saved by the Bell.
Is that it?
Yeah, she was in it.
Wasn't she in...
Yeah, she's a daughter of some business executive.
I think just 90210.
Is it just 90210?
Yeah, most people would remember. All right, so here's one.
Aaron Spelling.
She was in the reboot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but best known, I think, for her performance and the way that she leaned over the hood of the car. Megan Fox from Transformers is 38 years old. Now, arguably that was an interesting scene and just totally, a shot for the boys. But then there's some weirdness. Isn't she one of these like Hollywood moms that has a bunch of boys that she dresses as girls?
I don't know.
Okay, look it up. You're gonna find it. Go and
got
and
some
look for
weird
it.
boyfriend.
No, it's Hollywood, dude. Everybody's got weirdness in Hollywood. Thank God we're here where we've got our own particular weirdness. All right, I think that's about it for celebrity birthdays. As far as special events go, one that I will add to it is Biographer's Day, Brown Bag It Thursday. And it used to be we'd say I'm brown bagging it because I can't afford to eat out at lunchtime. But anymore, grocery shopping and eating out. Yeah, that's all pretty expensive. Yeah, you got it. What are you eating for lunch? Where are we going for lunch? You say, oh, I'm brown bagging it. I'm just going to eat tuna sandwiches because money is tight. But really okay. And then the price of bread and tuna and the mayonnaise and anyway, so everything is expensive now. It's Hummus Day. Barbecue Day.
That's my jam.
Why isn't that on a weekend? Why can't we do Barbecue Day
hummus
celebrations on the weekend? It's Notebook Day, but I don't know if they're talking about a paper notebook or a notebook computer. I have both. Oddly, the notebook computer doesn't follow me wherever I go. Most of the time is the what do you call it? My iPad is with me. I do have a paper notepad that I keep with me when I'm not on the air. I've got other stuff to keep track of notes and stuff. But when I'm out and about, I've got a bag, holster, purse, whatever you want to call it, and it's got a little notebook inside on paper.
Got a Death Note notebook.
Death Note notebook. Yes, exactly. Mimosa Day, yay, and Piercing Day.
Okay.
There ought to be like ratios for people. There ought to be like a number. They give you a name, and then the number of piercings that you have.
Yeah.
And then the number of piercings that are invisible. You can't see them because they're hidden under clothes and stuff like
equation?
that. Yeah, no, I don't want to make a ratio or anything like that. Yeah, solve for X. But so I'm trying to figure it out. If there's anybody who online here this morning that I know that has piercings. I'm looking to see if there's a name of somebody that I can reach out to. But it'd be like her name, and then these are the number of piercings that you can see. These are the number of piercings that you can't see. And then it would be like, oh, okay, this might be interesting to go on the hunt and find out where in particular those other piercings might be. And finally, yesterday was Fallen Police Officers Day. Mm-hmm. And today at Carabao, they will be unveiling a new flavor of beer.
Apple?
No, I don't think so. Anna said it is a West Coast IPA, so not exactly in my favor.
In
my
honor
flavor
of the
profile.
police?
No.
Okay.
This you'll like this. You know who the guys that are on the label?
Who's the guys on the label?
Got Your 671.
There you go.
Got Your 671.
Those are the veterans guys?
Yeah, the veterans guys. So it will drop as soon as we open this morning. I've been asking Anna when for the new beer. They will release cans at 5, and that's when the guys from Got Your 671 are coming down. So when they open at 11 o'clock today, if you want to try this new West Coast IPA, the proceeds, etc., go to support veteran activities, especially the ones by Got Your 671. That's the way it's going to be. I will be there. I will sample that. Maybe have a couple of my own favorites. West Coast IPA. And yeah, I've got to support. She says money from all beers sold will be donated, not just the GY 671. So if you want to make a difference in the veteran community, if you are a veteran, then today, starting at 11 o'clock over at Carabao, if you want cans to be able to take home with you, those will be available at 5 o'clock. I'll see you at the spot. 846. Donnie, you got anything else?
No.
Real Joe, do we have anything else? Honda. We'll take a break. Be right back.
May is Stroke Awareness Month, and it's crucial to recognize the signs. Do you know BFAST? BEFAST. It stands for balance, eyes, face, arms, speech, and time. These are the symptoms you need to watch out for. Let me break this down for you. BFAST, balance issues, sudden trouble with vision, facial drooping, arm weakness, slurred speech, and it's time to call emergency services. Remember, folks, when it comes to strokes, time is brain. Act fast, save a life. Learn the BFAST symptoms today. Brought to you by Guam Regional Medical City, advocating for stroke awareness and prevention. Visit us at www.grmc.gu.
Off a day, Mark Beneventi from Security Title here with a little information about deeds. In the world of real estate, a deed is the most common way to transfer property and ownership. Whether you're transferring a house in Jigo, a hotel in Tumon, or a ranch in Talipopo, the deed will describe the property boundaries, any restrictions, and the exact name of the new owner. Whether you're selling, buying, or even inheriting property, the deed transferring title is essential. When it comes to real estate, knowledge is key. Call the professionals at Security Title. We are here to help.
Up next, Senator Will Parkinson. But first, I got to check in with the Jigo Jarhead and find out what's going on. Jigo Jarhead online this morning, and I'd love to see you and the other veterans, especially the Marines, hanging out with us over at Carabao tonight for that Got Your 671 beer debut.
Yes, I'll do my best, but I'll turn 64 tomorrow.
What?
The real GOAT.
Dude, right on. To what do you attribute that long life to?
Just keep smiling, pray to God, and just love listening to Ray Gibson's show and folks.
Good enough, good enough. Well, happy birthday to fellow May birthday buddy.
Yes, sir.
What's going on? What's on your mind?
Just saying, pay homage, blessing to me tomorrow. That's all.
What's tomorrow?
It's my birthday.
I thought you said today's your birthday.
No, May 17th.
Oh, Roger that. Okay, well, we'll wait for I'll talk to the governor's office and see what we can do by way of hurry-up proclamations.
Okay, my brother.
All right, man.
You have a good day.
You know I will. Love hearing from you. 8:48 in the morning. Hey, neighbor, how you doing?
Good morning, neighbor. How you doing?
I can't tell you.
Great over here.
Just absolutely super awesome. Now, last week I had the pleasure of being a part of a junket to Japan to be there to help celebrate the inaugural flights from Haneda to Guam. Had an absolutely fantastic time, and there was apparently.
I'm so jelly.
I know, right? I know. That's why I brought it up.
I was supposed to go, but it's any day now with my lady giving birth to my first child, so it's like I gotta have to pass on that one.
Whoa!
Baby didn't come.
Wait. Have you settled on a name? Do we know gender? And there's only two. There's only two. Will.
It's gonna be a girl. I am gonna be a girl, Dad.
All right. Oh my God.
We already settled on the name. I let my wife choose, and she chose with Camilla Mari. And I was like, yo, I really want to do this Filipino thing and see if we could mix our name. So don't knock it yet. But what do you think of Coahuila? And she was like, your naming privileges are revoked. No, thank you. She was not feeling Coahuila. So Camilla Mari, it will be.
This is the fun part. This is the fun. Have you done the 4D ultrasound?
I think so. We've done all sorts of ultrasounds with Dr. Shea, and Dr. Shea has just been an incredible doctor throughout this whole period.
Mm-hmm.
And we did one ultrasound, and that baby definitely looks like it's got my nose. So I'm loving the technology we have today.
Well, there's surgery. There's plastic surgeons.
Oh, I know. That girl is going to have a face for radio and a voice for print, just like her daddy.
10 away from the top. I'm really, really happy to hear about this. Keep me posted on it. This is the fun time. As the father of a daughter, I can tell you that the fun has just begun. And I would also, I'll give you the same advice that I got. And even though I tried, I tried, and in my heart think that I did a pretty good job at it, there will always be moments where you feel you haven't spent enough time and you feel like you haven't captured enough of the memories. So make sure that you've always got a camera floating around, and whenever you've got any off time from working and senatoring, that you spend it with the little girl, because it will go by in a flash.
Oh, thank you for that, Ray. I will definitely keep that advice close to my heart.
Good for you. All right. Well, now getting through all of that, the reason why I called is there's a story on Fox News, and maybe tomorrow I'll play the video. I want to make sure I'm clear to air it.
News? What?
Fox News in Las Vegas reporting on Guam officials touring Nevada's first state-regulated cannabis lounge. Craig Camacho and a few other people from the Cannabis Board toured a place called Smoke and Mirrors on Tuesday morning because they want to see what these cannabis lounges can be. And they say that this Smoke and Mirrors place in Vegas is like the state of the art and the gold standard for when it comes to the lounges, the retail side of things. As well as the cannabis control in Las Vegas. And I was kind of curious, is this a junket that you missed as well?
No, this junket I wasn't invited to, but this is a junket I support, because one of the things we were talking about before COVID had hit was, we had the rules like locked and loaded, getting ready to get sent to the legislature. And so as I was sitting on board, we were actually looking beyond the rules and regulations and looking for ways to allow licensing for like events and for things like cannabis lounges, because we figured that would be the next step.
Yeah.
Let's have a way for a cannabis cup to be able to apply here. Let's have cannabis lounges for our tourists and our locals who wanted to avail of it. And so I'm really heartened to hear that that's the direction that the Cannabis Control Board is at least exploring, because I think that these ancillary businesses on top of the cannabis businesses can be very beneficial.
Agree, 1,000%. So someplace, where you can buy it.
Lounges.
Yeah, there's and it looks like
the tourists can't smoke in hotels.
Yeah.
Tourists can't smoke in hotels, so we got to give them a space to do it, especially if we're not going to allow it in public.
Dude.
And so I 110% support the cannabis lounges.
We'll build one by Donkey Village. We'll build one over by Donkey Village, and then they can walk across
from the airport.
then they can walk over to Donkey Village and get snacks, all kinds of crunchies. But I don't know. I looked at it. Number one, I'm glad. I'm not being jealous, and I'm not crazy about Vegas to begin with. But it's all right if that's where you got to go to chase down the gold standard for number one cannabis regulation and see what the state of the art in cannabis service is for the retail side of this dispensary side. Then I'm happy that we've sent some people. It just feels like we're taking things out of order, though, because there's things in the cannabis control regulations right now that seem to keep us from getting to this point. Everything that they're learning now in Las Vegas, when are they going to have a chance to implement that? Because we haven't gotten off step number one in this industry yet.
Yeah, well, that's where I think we have some good news coming right on the horizon this next coming session. Is I'm going to attempt to put a waiver of the cannabis lab testing on the session agenda.
Ooh.
And I mean that's really the roadblock. I think we've got the votes to pass it. And so basically what the bill does is it is a temporary waiver of lab requirements as long as we don't have a lab. And then as soon as a lab is built, you must test. And so as soon as any of these labs get their act together and open up, they have a 100% captive market that must go to them upon opening.
All right. I remember we've talked about this, and I'm glad to see that it is moving forward. Is it out of committee? Because your colleague Chris Duenas was complaining that there's still a whole lot of bills that are stuck in committee, and we're running out of time in the 37th Guam legislature.
Well, I tell you what, this bill is out of committee, but I hear Chris Duenas.
Mm-hmm.
I myself have a Castle Doctrine bill that I am trying to get out of committee. So, Chris Duenas, if you're out there listening, you should see a man about a horse.
Right. Maybe a little bit of hooey. We'll all get together and sort out how we can do all of this stuff. Now, I'm not suggesting that every piece of legislation that might be, lounging in the committee in the rules committee on rules ought to be out there. You know how I feel about the sugar legislation and the additional taxes that we're going to be putting on sugar, and there's a few other things that I think we ought to leave in the closet, up to and including this ridiculous rule that would provide for the government of Guam to say absolutely no to any conversation about nuclear power. I think it's a knee-jerk reaction, and we need to wait out a little bit more where the technology can be of benefit to the people of Guam.
I agree. And, I don't think every bill should make it out into the session floor. But if we were to have a conversation between Chris Duenas' bill and Castle Doctrine both making it to the floor, I think that's a healthy conversation him and I could both have.
I'm looking forward to the opportunities. Keep me posted on the delivery arrangements, and best of luck to you and your wife.
Absolutely. Oh, and this session, we're also getting power credits on the agenda. We had the public hearing, so we are going to full steam ahead and see if we have any more, objections to it. I don't think we will.
Yeah, I don't
but
know.
We'll see, right?
I don't know, because everybody's got their. I think that we have been blessed with this significant amount of time where members of the legislature weren't trying to do and use all of the additional revenues that we're getting because I'm overpaying my taxes. I think that now everybody's going after their pet projects that require funding, and then we're all going to be looking at the same funding source. So I appreciate the work that you have done to have it extended again. I won't be disappointed if it doesn't pass. I'm kind of expecting it will meet opposition from people that want to use those dollars for their own pet projects.
Yeah, and I understand, and that's something I definitely brought up during budget season last year was, if we keep doing these super conservative budgets, and God bless Joe St. Augustine for really balancing our budget so we're always getting surpluses. That is not a common thing. Before, we used to worry about making payroll. Now we got $100 million surplus every year under Joe, and so really hats off to him. But the one knock-on downside is every spring we're going to be playing Hunger Games for that money. And so, may the odds be ever in your favor, my colleague.
Yeah. I'd prefer that we, because I don't consider it a balanced budget. I would consider it if we had a little bit of a deficit or a little bit of an excess revenue, that would be okay. But when we're talking about significant percentages of the monthly income being in excess of projections, I got to say, as a taxpayer, I want my money back as much as possible, and that will be every single quarter. And I don't care how I get it back. I just want it back. Senator Will Parkinson, do appreciate your time.
Hey, no problem. You take it easy, neighbor. You guys have a great rest of the week.
You know, at 8:58 and change, rest of the week, I only got one more day. And then we move into the weekend, and there's stuff going on this weekend. I might share with you. It's a mango festival this weekend, right?
Oh, in agate?
Hagat. There's a ha in front of it. It's not agate anymore.
Hagat.
You gotta do some of that. You gotta
Like humata.
Like agaga. You gotta almost constrict the throat when you say that. It can't just
I hope they have mangoes, man.
Oh, bro, did you remember the picture that I showed?
There's some mangoes
Everybody
going
has
around.
Everybody has got
There
mangoes.
are some.
I get this
But
thing.
enough
Lady says,
for a celebration?
Says, do you want my mangoes? And I said, yeah. And she sent me a picture of it. I said, that's not what I was thinking about. Is that what Sarita Gurin online here this morning said? TMI, Ray Gibson.
Yeah.
And I don't know, did I TMI something?
I don't. It's
You know why?
very possible, Ray.
Yeah, because I was talking about piercings. I was talking about piercings.
Happens.
And never mind pronouns. I think what we ought to do is just take a look at your Facebook profile, ladies, and then like put a number behind, 2 numbers. First number will be the number of piercings that you have. Second number is the number of hidden piercings that you have. Right? Or no, that is yeah. We could do that one. And then so be like maybe Sarita's is like, I've got 5 piercings, but then all 5 are hidden. Maybe that was the TMI that she's referring to.
Yeah, Sarita.
Are you blushing now? Good. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, or darn close to it. Radio stations, KUSG, Hagana. All the new listeners have really appreciated if you like the show on Facebook or YouTube or whatever it is that you're watching on. Like, follow, and share. Sharing is important. It's not for me. I've already got the biggest ego on the planet. I'm already a household name. I know it. But I want to make sure that our advertisers know that there's a lot of people just like you that are watching and listening to the program. So comment and let me know who you are. Comment, like, follow, and share, and then we can make it so that we are always here. Radio station, like I said, KUSG, I got you. Here's Fox.
A show of unity. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Russian President Vladimir Putin has arrived in China for a state visit as his country's forces step up the offensive in northeastern Ukraine. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says the White House doesn't usually comment on these type of meetings, but she says she wants to make one point clear.
We find it unacceptable that the Chinese companies are helping Putin wage this war against Ukraine. And if China purports to want good relations with Europe and other countries, it cannot continue to fuel the biggest threat to European security right now.
Before the visit, Putin told Chinese media the Kremlin is prepared to negotiate over the war in Ukraine, but he said negotiations must take into account the interests of all countries involved in the conflict. Doctors in Slovakia are said to be fighting to save the life of the nation's prime minister, who was shot several times during an assassination attempt.
The Slovakian defense minister, speaking to reporters, is calling the condition of the nation's prime minister, Robert Fico, extraordinarily serious. Fico was shot multiple times earlier today after a political event. The prime minister was reportedly shot in the stomach. A suspect is in custody but has not been named. Slovakia's interior minister is now saying the first phases of the investigation are revealing the attack appears to be politically motivated. Fico has been described as a divisive figure who supports Russia and whom many Slovakians fear may lead their country out of the NATO alliance.
Fox's Colonel Scott. Challenge accepted. President Biden and former President Trump have agreed to 2 debates after President Biden challenged Trump online this morning.
Make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
CNN will host a debate June 27th. ABC will host the second on September 10th. America is listening to Fox News.
At APL, their expertise and extensive work can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing their efforts in giving back to the community. APL's dedicated team in Guam and the U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
Stay cool all year round by checking out Johnstone Supply for your HVAC and refrigeration needs. Located at 170 Guerrero Drive on Picanell Road in Tamuning, call Johnstone Supply today at 671-649-0581. That's 671-649-0581. Open 8 a.m. to noon and 1 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Open Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and closed on Sundays. Stay cool with Johnstone Supply.
A hearing delayed for a Utah children's book author who's charged in her husband's death.
Utah mom of 3, Corey Richens, faces several felony charges, including murder, accused of killing her husband by putting 5 times the lethal dose of fentanyl into his Moscow Mule cocktail in March of 2022. Charging documents say Richens had previously tried to kill her husband with a spiked sandwich on Valentine's Day. Prior to her arrest in May of last year, she self-published a children's book about a father with wings watching over his young son after passing away. Investigators say Richens was financially motivated to kill her husband and that she had taken out $2 million in life insurance policies without his knowledge. She also faces mortgage and insurance fraud charges related to his death. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
The number of deadly overdoses in the U.S. fell last year, according to the CDC, though it says the numbers are preliminary and could change after more analysis. It says it's too soon to know what spurred the decline, noting that the last time a decline occurred in 2018, drug deaths shot up afterward. A Led Zeppelin documentary gets picked up for release.
As concert films proved to be one of the more successful ventures hitting movie theaters, Sony announced it has acquired the rights to the hybrid docu-concert film Becoming Led Zeppelin. The film, which had its preview while still a work in progress in 2021's Venice Film Festival, is said to be powered by never-before-seen footage, performances, and music. It's being billed as an experiential cinematic odyssey, exploring the band's creative, musical, and personal origin story. It's told in Led Zeppelin's own words and is the first officially sanctioned film on the group, and now features newly unearthed material from the archives of all 4 band members.
Fox's Michelle Polino. Wall Street, all 3 major indexes hit record highs. The Dow at 349, the NASDAQ 231, the S&P plus 61. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
Are you wondering what business provides industry-standard data center services locally? IT&E does. We're more than a service provider. We're your partners in success. We protect your data from threats both on and offline. Downtime is not an option with our fully equipped backup and redundancy systems. Rest easy knowing that we provide around-the-clock service and support. Our relentless commitment ensures a seamless experience you can rely on. Are you curious about where to start? Ask Blue today. IT&E, innovation for your business.
Introducing My Rewards from 76 Circle K, a new and exciting way to fuel your savings. Get rewarded while purchasing your favorite items like Circle K coffee, Polar Pop, hot dogs, and more. Save 25 cents off per gallon and fuel your savings with My Rewards. Download the My Rewards Guam app. 25 cents off per gallon is valid for up to 20 gallons. One time per day. Certain exclusions apply. Visit 76circlekguam.com for more details.
Thank you so much. 6 after 9, Ray Gibson Show being brought to you by the guys over at APL American President Lines, a global presence with a local home, and the people over at Mescla. You got something to celebrate? Belated birthday for Jigo Jarhead. That'll be fun. We'll do that tomorrow over at the place here, Mescla Bistro in Agana. Make reservations, would you? 479-2652 or 489-2653. That's Mescla in Agana.
The Ray Gibson Show, bringing you closer to the action. This is The Point, Guam's FM News Talk Superstation.
No, this is the point. Yeah, when you're buying a new car, you date the sales department, but you marry the service department. And that's a great way to put that. Thanks very much. I'd never looked at it that way before. But I see and understand. I see and understand. So we got that's the way you need to be thinking about it when you're going and buying a new car. And if you got to get married to a service department, get married to the service department at NissanGuam.com on the World Wide Web. Yeah, I cannot attest to the skills of the guys over at the service department, because there hasn't been anything wrong with my truck. But they're always there, letting you know when it's time to come in for your regular service. And they always wash the truck because they know I don't, so they're pretty all right about that. And then the other cool things that they've got there is when they tint the car.
Oh yeah,
you want to be there for that. You want to be there because they've got a tint kuya over at Nissan, and they've built him. He's got his own room. It's like an air-conditioned room where he does all of this stuff and puts the tint on the car, puts a little sticker on the back that says it's Nissan tint job. And this guy is like a maestro. It's just amazing. I love watching people with talent and skills. That's why, dinner last night to go and watch Joe Guam over at the place. And it's funny. He's got these. Oh, it's not funny. It's just interesting. He's got these little business cards that the ladies over at the restaurant hand out to people. And you know what's on the card?
Yeah.
It's a QR code.
For tipping.
No, it's for making a request.
Yeah, but you can tip too, man.
Well, I don't know. I haven't tried that yet. I haven't tried the thing. Tipping the entertainment.
You can make a request.
What a bizarre thought that is. Huh? How about that? At any rate, so go and try that out. Somebody beat me to it because I love his version of Tennessee Whiskey. And he did that song. And he did Wagon Wheel, and I wasn't sure exactly, what he was, whether there's a thought process that goes into it or whether we're just doing requests, because he'd do these country and western sing-along songs, and then he'd do a Chamorro song, and then he'd do a country western song, and then he'd do a Jesse and Ruby song, and I thought, what, this guy's incredibly talented, and he's got more equipment. I want to say he's got more equipment on the stage than he had before. He had a full-blown actual 6-string electric guitar, and a ukulele, and a keyboard on top of everything else that he has in front of him to make it sound like he's 17 people. If you haven't had a chance to go see Joe Guam, by all means do. Tonight, actually at 11 o'clock this morning, just a couple hours from now, they'll open the doors over at Carabao and let some of last night's customers out. Sometimes you got to look under the tables before you lock the door. Anyway, so they're gonna, and then everybody can come in. And when you come in, they've got a new beer on tap. It is a West Coast IPA. That means something to beer people. I didn't know, and so I asked Anna, who knows about my beer flavor profile. She says, "Oh, you drink like a lady." And so I said, will I like this? She says, well, you sample it, try it. But I don't think so.
You nurse your beer.
So here's, God, I'm the last guy that does that. But anyway, so the deal is all of the money that they make from selling beer today over at Carabao, they're going to give to Got Your 671. 5 o'clock tonight, they will break out the cans of Got Your 671. And I know there's a lot of beer aficionados out there that are listening. And I'm not going to say that, I hang out with EOD Kaboom and Steve Love and a bunch of other people, Ismail, et cetera, that I'm not going to say that we're always there. But it wouldn't surprise me if I saw him out there at the place tonight. 10 after 9 o'clock in the morning. Is Francis outside?
He's outside.
No, why didn't you bring him in, boy?
I didn't know you wanted him in.
Get him in there.
Okay.
Francis Guerrero is going to be talking to us. He reached out to me the other day and asked if it was possible to get some airtime to talk about something that he and the parish are going to be up. Come on in, Francie. There in that chair right there. Oh, good. You wore the Remax logo. Knew you were going to be on television. Yes, wear the logo. It's all right. Move that in front of you. You remember how microphones and things like that work. Okay. Click on that, and now it's just us, and it doesn't say Donna De Jesus under your name anymore. Let me just adjust it a little bit more because you're so pretty, and I want to make sure that everybody can see your face on the camera. Angle something over. It's right up there. Angle something over so there's more face. Close enough. Close enough. How you doing? Oh, funny. Now you're all freaked out. Nobody got, who's this? The camera on me, or what am I doing? That'll have to do. Everybody, you got a glimpse of him, and that might be as good as it gets. But anyway, how you been? It's been a long time since you were back in the studio to promote something.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it? Do you remember?
We were doing Guamapoli night.
Guamapoli
for the Children's Arc.
Okay. You got anything like that coming up anytime soon?
The Zombie Run.
Is that what we were going to be talking about? Because isn't there something for the church?
This one today is my church now.
Okay, because I've got all kinds of, I've got flyers all over the place. And if you want to make things as easy as possible for me, and that should be a concern as you wake up in the morning, what can I do today to make Ray Gibson's life a whole lot easier? A lot of people with a lot of different events that are going on, and we've got this great full-blown calendar at thepoint.gu on the World Wide Web, and I'll be more than happy to give you as much space on the website as you want to. You just go on the top, on the banner on the top, where where it says community, and then click on submit an event. And in fact, I will usually get those pronouncements on the calendar within, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes of when you send it in. It's just a question of approving it, and most of the time it's automatic. So by all means, get something in there. And I can't remember whether you posted yours there or not, but let's get down into the nitty gritty on it. Tell me what's going on at the church.
So Our Lady of Purification Catholic Church in Maina.
Mm-hmm.
So if you recall, we are the smallest parish in the Archdiocese.
Isn't it like Pica's Best Corral? Am I close?
I don't know there, but
if not, they do very, very well over at that place. And they got great people in the band and great people in the singing in the choir and all that. What? There should be. There should be. Is there not, among all of the Catholic churches that we've got here on Guam, is there not an internal competition? And wouldn't it be fun if we had one? We get all of the different, mass bands out, like at the field house or something like that, and have a battle of the church bands. Yeah, battle of the choirs. Come on, it'd be great. We'll all wear leather. We'll come out with themes. We'll make you guys all dress up in like Kiss Army outfits or something.
I can just
thinking. So I'm sorry, I digress a little bit too much. So what's the nature of the event?
So we were doing wine and beer tasting events from 2011 to 2017.
Yeah.
And we kept growing them. They were very, very successful. They had become a chief source of revenue for us.
Okay.
And we're finally able to bring it back. So this coming Thursday, the 23rd, just next week, Thursday, red wine and brew.
I love that.
Right there at the church, and you should come out because we historically we've had like maybe between 300 and 400 people.
Hey,
yeah, it's huge, and we got wine and beer tasting going on. The parishioners do the food. There's a lot of poo-poos with a local.
I'm not
flair.
ignoring you. I'm getting the flyer. I'm putting it up on the screen. So because
cool.
I had to translate it from PDF to JPEG or something like that. So stand by one. Let me see if I can push the thing out and get it up on the screen because it has a whole lot of details, some of which you may have already forgotten. So it'll be up on the screen so that you can see it as well. So next Thursday, May the 23rd. Now there's a lot of things going on next Thursday. My recommendation: swing by Skinner Plaza. Check out it's B Day. Dennis Larson, the B Man. Has got him and all the other B community members are going to be coming out and doing a thing over at Skinner Plaza, and then maybe run up to the church. It's not at the church, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is
right on the church grounds.
Does Polly know? I mean, we're talking about drinking wines and spirits right there on the grounds of the church.
Behind us, 100%.
If we have, do we have dispensation from the Vatican? Is the Pope aware? No, I'm crazy about the idea. Well, let's go through this a little bit more. So, how much is it to get in?
So, $50 a ticket, and we do have a special: buy 5 get 1 free.
Okay.
And that always works to help push ticket sales.
Yeah.
Joe Guam is playing.
I was just talking about him.
Yeah?
Yeah, I went to go see him over at CPK last night.
Oh,
Actually,
cool.
I went to go get pizza, but he was there. So I'm telling everybody I went to go see him. But I went to go see Joe Guam performing there. How much do you pay attention to what he does? Because you're a musician. And so when you look at his setup, how much of that do you, as a musician, get? Because he's got so much. He's got all of the processing and all of the loop making, so he can get a sound all looped out there.
Yeah.
He's got a keyboard now.
Yeah.
And a ukulele and an actual electric guitar on the stage with him. And I'm thinking, you're going through a lot of trouble not to have to hire other members to play with you. You can just kick back and do vocals, man. But he does this one-man band thing.
These days, a lot of music. There's so much that can be processed, and people are going that direction because I do know from talking to people still in the music industry out there. Gigs are hard to come by where they'll hire 8 and 12 piece bands anymore.
The full blown,
right? So you have to make up the sound somehow.
But, yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I know where I am, and just picking up a guitar and strumming with one hand and playing chords on the other hand. that was a mental challenge for me. And then the idea that I'm going to be singing on top of that, and then the idea that I'm going to be remembering to press a button on the foot pedal that causes a loop to get generated. I mean, there's just too much going on. I cannot. I mean, so when I see guys like him, Candy Tamman sings over. In fact, I think he'll be over at Mosa's a little bit later on today. I mean, he's got a whole setup there as well. And I'm just going, wow. I mean, that takes, on top of the talent, that takes even more talent. So I hate to shine Joe Guam's shoes even more, but now big enough, not just I'm noticing, but even Francis and the guys over in Maina are noticing. So he's going to be a part of the entertainment?
Yep.
Cool.
It'll be entertaining live, and we also have, the food is always good because the parishioners make it themselves. It's poo-poos, but with a local flair.
Okay.
We will have delicacies and carvings even. And several sponsors doing the beer and wines for us. Island Beverage Distributors will be out there. Ambrose will be out there.
Island Beverage, they've got that new Heineken, right? Did they say they're going to bring in that new Heineken Silver?
I'm not sure which beer they're promoting, but that might be one of them.
Yeah, well, I think that's the one they've wanted to be promoting lately. I think it's supposed to be, as I understand it, a competitor of Michelob Ultra. It has a lot of the same features.
I think so.
Yeah, so I think that you might get a taste of a new beer with that $50 that you're going to be paying.
So then we've got Pacific Wine and Spirits will be out there. Of course, Ambrose is doing both beer and wine as well, just like IBD.
Yeah,
and
you got Ambrose and IBD under the same roof. God, you must be working for God. That's something else. That's saying something.
We've been pounding the pavement a lot, this parish. Little parish, but we really, very vibrant. We get out there. Everybody's going out and asking. I always tell them, there's no shame in asking. If they say no, you never had in the first place.
Courage is always
anything,
rewarded,
right?
yeah.
But you never know if they say yes. And, by the grace of God, we're able to do this.
Absolutely. I think that's
absolutely.
That's going to be something else. That in and of itself is a big deal. So we've obviously got the wine tastings. You got the food. You got the entertainment lined up. The only thing
then some door prizes, too.
I was seeing exactly where I was headed. So it's nice. I paid $50.
You know how I roll.
Yeah, I paid $50 to get here. What can I take home? You got an idea of what kind of stuff you're giving away?
We're still actually finalizing that list, but we've actually got some really good, things to give already. I'll save that surprise for that night.
Do we have any detergent? Okay,
detergent. Dude, what do you need detergent
No,
for?
I'm just saying detergent and what else they like? A sack of rice, that kind of thing. Because there's
maybe you
because it's political. It's fundraising season for the politicians.
True.
So it always occurs to me, my favorite political fundraisers is you go out there, they're not giving away TVs and stuff like that. They're giving away stuff that you would buy for yourself at Macy's, and it costs you less, and you just don't want to spend any of that money on those kinds of things.
So
I'll get a caseload of rice, no problem.
I know we've got gift certificates, so you can use those and go buy them.
Nice.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been planning this? Since the last one?
Well, it's been 7 years, and, we've been wanting to bring it back, but was always a challenge. The people were going through a lot. The church was going through a lot, the archdiocese, and then, COVID hit more.
Oh.
And we were like, okay, one after another, when is the right time to put this thing out there and ask people to actually spend money to come?
Yeah.
So we finally said, bite the bullet, let's just do it. It's time.
Pick a date out there, and it's not Lent anymore, so
we need to do it. Because we get a really good showing. And, like I said, when we were doing this annually, this was our biggest source of revenue. I won't say exactly what we netted out, but
that's all right. I don't think you need to. I think people are excited.
And it's just because people want to come have fun. They talk about it a lot after, and we've been asked several times, when are you going to do it again? When are you going to do it again? So now we're doing it.
Okay, well, get the word out and tell everybody about this, because it's a big deal. And another week, and we'll take the flyer that I've got up on the screen and put it up on the calendar so everybody knows that it's going to be there. And you said there's a 5K you guys are working on?
Oh, the children's are. You were asking me about last time I was in here. We're doing Guamopoly Run, and then we'll have our 5K coming up again, the zombie run every year.
Okay, so when is the zombie run? Do you have a date on that one yet?
Not In October, I don't know yet.
Oh, Halloween
the
time.
date, but always close to Halloween. That's when we do it.
Okay, we'll bring you back into the guys at the running club. Have somebody come in and talk about that and all of the rest of it. Now, while I have just incidentally a real estate professional with me in the studio, hope you don't mind. At 9:22, now there's a lot of conversations about what's going on, not necessarily in real estate, but there was a time where we could seriously use the phrase affordable housing. On Guam. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, I kind of remember getting into the first house. It was Ellen Wilkinson sold it to me in 97, 98. Because I think I moved in January of 99. And I remember signing the papers on that thinking, God, who do I think I am? It was $155,000 or $160,000 mortgage. And I can't believe, oh my God, this is so expensive. And, it's a 1,400 square foot house sitting on a quarter acre out in the old Camacho property in Cañada. You know where I'm talking about. And I'm going, oh my God, I can't believe I'm committing myself to 30 years worth of mortgage payments on this thing. And as it turns out, completely affordable by today's standards, for sure. Completely affordable.
$400,000 and $500,000.
Yes, now exactly. That very same property.
Rate.
Yes, you had a much higher interest rate. Well, mine wasn't all that great. I want to say mine was like 10 or 11 or something around that time frame. I remember it was. I couldn't wait until I was capable of refinancing, so I could get that down out of the stratosphere and into a lower interest rate. But again, the phrase affordable housing, it doesn't mean anything on Guam anymore.
No, but
what are you running into?
Well, you talked about refinancing. That's one of the strategies people are doing now in order to buy a house. Because sometimes you can get a little better interest rate, but maybe the mortgage you get is going to be maybe something like an adjustable rate mortgage.
Yeah.
Usually locked for maybe 5-10 years, and then starts to.
But then the increments, it's not a surprise what the increments are going to be on those ARMs, right?
No, because they tell you up front already.
Yeah. That in 5 years it's going to be this. In 6 years
you're playing the market. You're hoping that, okay, maybe in the next 5 years the interest rates will drop back down and I'll go back in and get a fixed rate mortgage at the lower interest rate. That helps.
But what house are you going to buy? Who's constructing? Besides, you got Cortec. Carlos Camacho might have a couple other deals out there that are running around where they are doing some building.
Yeah. But that's the tough part. Inventory is a challenge, and when there's no inventory and the demand is high, the prices keep going up.
Yeah.
So, I'm not surprised if we're at like an average $450,000 for a house, a decent house now.
I think that was what the median age that Cisco was talking about.
Yeah, we're seeing that. I think we're also seeing that a lot of new homes that are going up, and they're all in the $600,000 and $700,000s. You've got a smaller
the ones up in
people.
Jigo that we were talking about last week. Yeah, they're pretty houses. They're too close together.
Yep.
If you ask me,
it's a neighborhood.
Next time, just put them side by side. We'll call them townhomes.
It's neighborhood construction, so that's.
Is that okay? That's what's on the brochure.
Maximizing the lot size itself, right? So the more homes you can put on it when you're doing a development like that. So it doesn't need. They don't need to have a big yard.
Just don't want my neighbors to know that much about me. I like a good 20, 30 feet separation between the common walls of the houses. But in this case, it didn't look like there's any more than about 10 between one house and the other. And
it's whatever the. Minimum setback is.
Yes,
they're right up to there.
Well, I like that. I like
8 feet on each side, which means.
But we need, as you say, we need the inventory.
Yes,
you gotta have that conversation about inventory.
You do, and land is at a premium, I think, because you still have people out there that are very traditional. They're holding on to their properties, so that doesn't help the inventory challenge. And then more of what's going up now, even rents, they keep going up now. People are raising their rents because they can.
Yes.
It's tough.
I'm beginning to see that in a lot of places where it's I'm raising the rent. Why? Because costs are going up. I said, what costs? What costs just went up for you?
Materials for sure.
What
anytime you're going to repair something now, have you gone in? materials keep going up.
Some of the people I talked to,
labor,
they cover their rental maintenances and things like that. That's not something that you're going back to the landlord for. I'm just saying it. I'm hearing that from many people where the cost of and then there's for some people in the commercial space, their common area fees. Those are also going up.
Yes.
And I can see for exactly some of those reasons, but if my maintenance or my cleaning costs or whatever are going up on the common area side, then why is the rent going up? On the other side, why is the complimentary going up? Did you refinance? You get a higher interest rate? I'm not saying that there's some landlords out there trying to rip off their renters, but you make a point. They're raising rates. They're raising rentals because they can.
Well, when you're an owner of anything, you're an investor. You're always going to try to be where the market value is. You want to get the most for the money you put in. And sometimes, too, it becomes, okay, you get a little extra on the rent, gives you a little more to put aside because there's a point at which you're going to want to improve your property again. You're going to need that money to do it.
Yeah.
So for some of them, it's not necessarily because they're just raising the rents because they can. There's some strategy behind it.
And maybe the strategy might include, as you point out, capital improvements for the property that you're on if you're lucky. Otherwise, maybe developing other properties that they might be able to rent out as well. Somebody was chiming in. We had a little bit of this conversation earlier and mentioned the words, and I hate hearing them, rent control. Is that something that maybe somebody needs to start putting together the concept of determining a structure where by law things are going to be out there and made available, this housing affordable to certain parts of our population. Otherwise, they won't have any place to live.
Well, there's nothing that on the table like that. But, if rents keep going as crazy as they are, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody comes up and says, hey, let's try doing this. Let's introduce a bill in the legislature and see how far we fly.
Well, yeah. Throw it at the wall and see if it sticks.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not so crazy about that particular idea, and I'm only bringing it up because somebody thought it would be a good idea for conversation down the road one of these days. If I was investing in a piece of property and the government told me that I had to cap my rental on that property, I'd probably end up getting rid of it and rolling out from under it or finding a way to get out from under that law.
Well, I think with the challenge of affordable housing as we know it, and it's not something new. This has now been so many years.
Yeah, endemic here. Worse in Hawaii. Although I did spend some time with Chris Duenas, he has a measure that they're going to be talking about this session that will allow for a novel kind of, I want to call it a septic system, but it's not really a septic system.
Oh, yeah.
You know which one I'm talking about. I'm sure that you guys in the real estate business went to the public hearing on it. Anyway, it's supposed to come up, or he wants it to come up in the next legislative session. And I think it would be a good idea so that some of these smaller, more fractional size lots might be able to finally be exploited, because I think there are a lot of families that have got exactly that situation where, I've got,
your dad gave you a piece of property, but it's up in the north, small. What are you going to do?
And you
got to
build on it. There's no sewer.
Yeah, exactly.
And then unless it's, what is it, 20, I forget what the size limitation is. It's got to be a certain size.
If you're up on
quarter
the north
acre
on the water,
it's got to be larger than a quarter. Oh, half.
If you don't have sewer.
Half acre.
To put a septic tank up on the waterlands.
Who can afford half acre?
Anywhere else, no waterlands, 929.
Yeah, that's right.
Quarter acre, you're good.
Anyways, the idea is we might be able to get more use out of the lands that we're talking about.
And we need to. I think at the end of the day, because the challenge of affordable housing, there's no easy solve. Every conversation should be had, You said rent control. Maybe that should be explored. I think everything should be explored.
Where, in your opinion, talking to people in the contracting industry, where are ways that the government of Guam can work harder or develop policy that makes it cheaper for people to want to become developers or come and do construction on Guam? Do we have an issue here that needs to be addressed with regard to permitting, construction permits, other kind of permitting that needs to be done in the government? He laughs.
You know that's there still.
Yeah, I did.
You know, I mean,
I know they put Carl Gutierrez in charge of that, and then they moved him. They said, okay, well, you're stepping on too many toes, so we're going to have you do just the GVB thing, and we'll leave that to everybody else.
They've been working hard at trying to improve it, and some of the steps are getting better, but it's never going to be an easy process. I think for us the challenge is always going to be we've got to have consistency across the board.
Good luck.
And I said it was a challenge.
Yeah, government changes every 4 years.
I know, but the process, has to be, or the inspection process needs to be consistent across things like that, because then at least people know, all right, I want to build this house. I already know what I expect to get out of it.
Yeah.
I know what is expected of me if I'm going to take it from start to finish and get my occupancy permit. At least, everybody knows they can budget properly for it.
A, B, C, D, check mark, check mark, check mark, check
well,
mark.
You're building a house, and let's say, okay, initially this is what you said your house was going to cost you based on what everybody was telling you. Your architect's going to charge you this, that kind of stuff. And then by the time you get through everything and it's, even 3 years down the line, you finally complete your house, because there have been some like that.
Yes.
The cost had gone up so much because labor went up. Yeah.
Labor, materials.
Exactly.
Can of paint on Guam doesn't cost what a can of paint cost a few years ago.
Have you been to Home Depot?
I'm putting it off. You know what, frankly, what I'm waiting for is, I just mentioned it on the radio several times until somebody says, okay, I've got a couple of leftover pails of just primer white. That's all you need. Then here, will you shut up about it now? maybe so, because you never know how that's going to work. Francis Guerrero in the studio, and obviously the beginning of the conversation has to do with a get together, massive get together that's going to be taking place next Thursday night over at the Maina Church. $50 gets you in. You buy 5, get 1 free, and there's going to be all kinds of great wines and beers that you can sample from all of the different players out here. Great entertainment, chances to win all kinds of great stuff, and a great opportunity to run around. It's a hidden gem. If you don't know where the church is, if you never had the opportunity to get there, it's not, I'm not going to say it's a challenge to get to, but it is kind of a little oasis. You go up a hill and you make a little turn and bang, there's this church, and it's gorgeous, and it's just the prettiest little village church there is, I think, on Guam. I think the only other one that's got this beautiful kind of feel to it is the one down in Santa Rita. They got that nice little tiny, you know what I'm talking about? You park on the side of the road.
But then, like you said,
it just feels like you're in the village,
But then, like you said, you've got our choir and Father Junior's there. Father Junior is a great homilist. People, like to come and be inspired.
He knows when it's time to go fast. He knows when it's time to wrap it up. I think he's got this, this sense of how many people are either yawning or looking at their watch going, okay, I better wrap this up right about now. 9:34. I don't want to wrap up with you just yet, Francie, because I got one last thing. There's a lot of different kinds of real estate that we've got here, and among them is commercial real estate. You feeling bullish on commercial real estate? The economy hasn't quite bounced back, as they say, from COVID and Mawar. But are there places where you're looking at and say, okay, there might be some goodness over here? What's holding some of these commercial properties from moving forward?
I'm not too sure on that one. What I've seen out there is for some of them, they really need to be maintained. I've seen buildings where, okay, the owners are struggling. They don't have the money to fix it all up, so it's not like it's a desirable thing. And then you've got a lot of businesses that want to be on the main road. That's a big deal for people because traffic.
Yep.
You need the traffic or your business won't survive. Yeah.
What about employees? Somebody was you know the place. It is between Shell and Mobile on Route 8. And there's American Grocers, I think, is supposed to be going in there.
Yeah.
And there's an Eddie, a coffee place that's supposed to be going in there as well. And I've been asking around saying the building looks like it's done. Looks like they're finished. All they got to do is take some of the riprap and the construction material out, and we should be open for business. And the answer that I got was, cannot, because there's no employees. There's not enough people to work in the facility. They said Donkey Village took it all.
I'm hearing that a lot. And you and I, we have friends that own businesses out there, and it's a common theme that I hear across everybody. It's so hard to find employees, or even when you find them, so hard to keep them.
Yeah,
because I don't know, they they show up one day, they're gone the next week, and you don't even know what happened.
Yeah, no call, no show. They got another offer from somebody else, and nobody taught them how to quit a job, and so they just stopped showing up. Don't worry about sending the last check. They don't. They wherever it is they're working now, they've got a good handle on it. 9:36 in the morning, and then a different version of commercial property that's out there, and I'm very, very curious about what Tumon could look like in a couple more years. You know, Real Joe and I will stand outside and go over notes and things at the start of the morning show, and we can see the old Pac Star building, and wonder what it is that Matthews is going to be able to do with that down the road. I mean, it's been quiet there since the beginning of COVID, and that's now like, you know, going in on 4 years now.
And that's a challenge because
I hope they're keeping the aircon on enough to keep the mold down.
I was just going to say, right now we don't have the tourist numbers that we want to see, so it's not very easy to open it up again as a hotel and be able to say right off
hard to market
with certainty that it's going to be profitable.
Yeah, hard to market it to an entity that will manage it.
But if they're not at least maintaining the building, it's really going to, hurt them later.
Catty corner from that is the old Verona Hotel.
That's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear different stories, so I'm not sure what exactly is true.
Well, tell me what you heard. Don't worry about it.
No,
this is
on the
not
radio.
the news. This is not the news.
We're on the radio.
Okay, so send me, and I promise I won't say it's from you, but beat me what real estate rumors you are hearing about that, because it's one of these pieces of property, and it always was a dicey proposition because it was a hotel that wasn't on the beach.
Yeah,
and I think to a degree that might have been an issue for them, considering the high rise process that they were going through. But they're talking about another high rise a piece of property just down the street from there, not too far away from the where Chili's is. You know what I'm talking about? There used to be a buy me drinky place / gun place on that little sliver of a property, and they finally, I think, got the permission from the land use to be able to do something like that, and they were going to build this big gigantic hotel down there.
That's a small piece of property.
That's what I thought when they were building Tsubaki Tower.
Oh, true.
You know,
true.
when I saw the plans for Tsubaki Tower, I'm sitting there going, wait a second, you're right next to the Lotte Hotel. You see how small of a footprint that is. And these guys, they went up and they took advantage of every square inch on the ground. The only thing that they didn't do was fill in the cave at the bottom. And anybody that knows that old part of Tumon knows, there's a little cave down there at the bottom of the spot. There's so much potential that we've got around here. And I just, as they say, potential is energy at rest. And I hope down the road that we'll be able to take some of these properties and either demolish them and let it go back to green or rehabilitate them and then start taking a look at some of the other green property that we've got in Tumon. That whole section in where Simon Sanchez has a view. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
This is massive now. This is the piece of property from Epal Beach, from the edge of Epal Beach to the edge of the not Pac Star, PIC. From one edge to the other. Yep. That's still a big, massive property. And as far as I know, it's just being banked right now.
That's why I said there are places or pieces of property, things like that probably need to be maximized here. We need the housing.
Yeah, but nobody's gonna put houses down in Tumon anymore.
Oh no, not
those days are long behind us now. Maybe more of these vertical regimes. Maybe we'll have some more of these condos.
The value in the commercial usage of it has gone up so high down there that's what makes sense as highest and best use.
Gotcha. Fancy. It's always a pleasure talking with you, whether it's musical stuff, whether it's talking about church stuff, or whether it's talking about real estate stuff. I appreciate the expertise. I appreciate the time. You go have a fantastic day.
Thank you.
All right, Real Joe, I'm going to do some selfie here with my bro and come right back.
Get closer to your next adventure with the United Credit Card from First Hawaiian Bank. Every dollar spent can help you earn miles towards your upcoming trip. Earn 2 times the miles for $1 spent on gas, groceries, and United Airlines tickets. And earn 1 mile for every dollar spent on all other qualifying purchases. Plus, there's no expiration on the miles you've earned. Get on board with a First Hawaiian Bank United Credit Card. It all starts with yes. Terms and conditions apply. To learn more, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com/United.
Wake up to all the delicious flavors of a cinnamon roll in every bite with Wendy's new Cinnabon Pull-Apart. This new sweet treat takes the nostalgic classic cinnamon roll and transforms the ooey gooey center into bite-sized pieces for fans to pull apart and share or keep all to themselves. We won't judge. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new Cinnabon Pull Apart. May 19th, save the date for Choice Broadcasting and Lotte Hotel Guam's Island Wedding Expo. Free admission. Join us in the Crystal Ballroom from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. for refreshments, raffles, and a fun passport stamping for a couple to win a flyaway courtesy of United Airlines. The couple must be present to win. Special thanks to some of our fine sponsors: Perfect View 360, Stelstar Productions, Weddings by Jane, The Occasion, Modern Nen, Tentata, DJ Booth and Lighting, Michaela Winters Photography, Say Media, Heaven Scent, Rustic Poppy Photography, and so many more. May 19th, it's the Island Wedding Expo.
Please stop sending me invitations to Mike's and Nicholas's kickoff fundraiser. My messenger,
yet, man?
my WhatsApp. Oh no, this is affordable. This is not one of those elite kind of $500 thing, and then I'm going to go in there.
Then I'm not going.
Yeah, then you're going to go in there and eat trail mix, right? So it's a kickoff fundraiser, May 16th, 6 until 9 at Good Times in Tumuring, which means you need to be there at 6:01.
You better get parking.
Because parking.
Yeah, it's tight.
Right?
Yeah.
Never park in the back, the little square in the back on the north side of the building. Don't park there.
Yeah.
Because it's impossible to get out. Because there's people that go there and they don't know how to park in America. I'm just saying. So if you're gonna get stuck in the back, and then they're gonna have to make the DJ call for somebody to go move the car. So get there early and in time to park in front of somebody else's business that's closed. Donation $20.
Oh, that's affordable.
It says comes with one drink and one food. I'm kidding. It doesn't say one food. MSN delivers. Okay, so like I said, I got plenty of these in my inboxes. So you don't need to send me anymore. You don't need to send me anymore. Where's the ones? And I feel like I've got to say it. Otherwise, I'm going to get pinched for, not this equal time crap. Okay, so if you're a Ginger or an Amanda or a Jimmy Boy, and you've got a fundraiser that's coming up as well, I'll spend an equal amount of time telling people not to flood my inboxes with invitations.
That's fair.
You think? We try to be fair and balance. Hey, Kathleen Marie Tenorio watching the thing today. Hey. Real Joe.
Right click.
Thank you, sir. Bob Gaith. Hey.
Never heard of that guy, Ray.
He's checking in a lot.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be producer.
I think he likes my work.
No, dude, he's living like a king. There's my favorite bone cracker, Greg Miller. Joe D's online. Peter Santos. Says, Ray, this weekend is the 5K in Haget. Next weekend is the Mango Festival. Okay. I didn't know. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought they were all together. Sometimes they do them together. Sometimes they don't. So
we stand corrected again, Peter Santos.
Peter Santos. Big man Rico B on this side. Let me see. Stephen Blake. There it is. Bob Gay sending greetings from Vung Tau, Vietnam.
He's living the good life.
I'm telling you, bro.
What the heck?
He got it. He probably didn't even type that in. He's probably got somebody that types in things for him out there. Anyway, Jay Dewan hanging out.
I get it, Ray.
Thank you, buddy. No problem. Beautiful Sarita Garen. Bunkers there. Sister Shelly. Chris Frank says, I use body wash from head to toe, hence body wash. Yeah, we were talking about, yes, thank you very much, Chris. We were talking about Danny Truo's birthday today and his Salma Hayek tattoo. And Chris says he got the tattoo before he met her, said he dreamt of the face. Absolutely. There's something about those stormy eyes.
He's not the only one.
And former Senator Mary Torres, as in Mary Torres bonus, is had at some point, I don't know how long people are listening anymore, but she was there. Dave Duenas, Steve and Liz have been all over the place this morning. I got Ana Delgado. So Anna's correcting me again, and that's fine. I knew that there was a fight between AC and DC back in the day. And I misrepresented the story. I said that the AC was being proposed by Thomas Edison. Actually, it's reverse. Thomas Edison wanted the DC version of being able to transmit electricity from generation to your house,
and that kills elephants.
No, it was AC. And the guy that opposed Thomas Jefferson was Thomas, what's his name? Was
Edison.
Edison might have been the one guy that actually understood what was going on. And that guy was Nikola Tesla.
Yeah, and they got rid of him.
They got rid of him.
He knew stuff.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry,
so,
Tesla.
AC was Nikola Tesla, and it's amazing because the guy's genius, and they say that there are still discoveries that he made that and thinking that experiments that he did that would literally be changing our lives now, up to and including a version of electricity that wouldn't cost people anything, and maybe that's why. Maybe that's why they hunted this guy down. He died destitute, penniless.
CCU.
Yeah, it's a terrible.
The CCU disappeared Tesla. I know it now.
Just Luan online. John Wambugo Mwangi is saying, hey there, but spelled with an Hay. Immediately suspect. Change your routine around. Carissa Flores, Jesse Nanetti, Aurelio Perez, Phil from Venue online, Anti Benita Menglotnia, Hafa a day. Oh, can you make a phone call to her?
Benita?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Menglotnia.
Yeah, find her tomorrow. If you don't, I've got her number.
Yeah?
Okay, because the reason is I've been telling everybody that she's got that shop up in GCIC building.
Okay.
So she moved, and I want to get more information about that for our listeners that might need a variety of her services. Rolling with Bronson online here this morning.
Bronson.
Stephen Lynn, Marlu Berseman. Hey, beautiful. All Pinoy has karaoke and a singer. Absolutely. But if you are a Filipino without a karaoke system in your house or want something that's portable that you can take with you to some place, Beyond the Box at the Micronesia Mall. And BTB is run by a Filipino. So you're getting good quality karaoke gear. Significant technology, number one, that will allow you to just plug in your song. And I think like stream it from Spotify or something, and it will automatically take out the vocals. So you can sing along.
So it doesn't have to be that what do you call it?
No, you sing like it's you sing like it's the record.
It's like polka music.
I don't know about polka.
The karaoke stuff, yeah.
Anna Han is there. Jenna Carol Sablon hanging out with us this morning. Let me see if there's other names. Glenn Hunter, my running pal Doris is on. Glenn Hunter tuned in.
Hey, Saipan.
All the way from Saipan.
Wow.
Jessica Barrett hanging out with us this morning. That was nice. Boot, Oscar, Mike, Richard Leon, Mike, Grace Bloss, Charlie Hermosa, Nick Perlosky. Wow, Nick Perlosky doesn't live here anymore, but still checks in and growls.
He moved away, man.
And will growl from time to time about stuff going on. Future Senator Bistro Rusanova Mendiola, Bobby Toves, Sonny Cruz, Marv Crisostomo, Joe Takai. It was a great morning for our friends. Ike Saki, Tracy, Sabrina Salas Matanani. That's future Senator Sabrina Salas Matanani. Connie Marie Tuncap Mayu. Hey, that's my Connie girl. Sonny Cruz and Auntie Loli watching the program. Robbie Agagi and many more. Sorry I couldn't get to these earlier. My classmate Mark Colden on the line. And when we were going to high school, I got to say, this was the coolest black guy on Guam.
Really?
Yeah. Mark
wasn't the only one.
No, but he was the coolest.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me see. Marie Babauta Baldwin, Peter Lozano, Arnold Manite. Hey, Arnold. That's my bro is online. Valerie Cruz, Eric Ada, and Playmore. I want to thank everybody for choosing us this morning
Valerie.
For your entertainment. I'm sorry. This is talk radio. for your information purposes. And I hope we've lived up to that. Although I gotta say I haven't worked really, really hard doing that today. I got all the good interviews in, right, with Jesse and the doctors and Will Parkinson, all that. There's might be a few things. Oh, I got this picture. Wait. This here is a picture. If you're watching on the Facebook things and the visual platforms, Governor visits the THAD site. And it's a picture of the governor. She must have hurt her ankle.
Yeah, she's got an ankle wrap.
Yeah, it's either that or she forgot one sock. I'm not sure, but I think it's an ankle wrap. I hope you're feeling better, Gov.
Yeah, I get better, Gov.
An opportunity to hang out with the THAD guys and give them an idea of what it is that we're all.
What's that dude doing?
What's that? Which one?
The guy in the middle next to her.
Mike.
Look at his eyes. Ray.
I know. It's Dr. Mike Cruz.
Is that Dr. Did he flip his eyelids backwards for this? No.
Zombie Nation, bro.
All right.
Is that what it looks like?
There
They
you
might have
go.
caught him while he was blinking. All right. Yeah. Governor LG, General Brigadier General Mike Cruz.
Morning, sir.
Adjutant General in the Guard. We got Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Stafford, Commander Task Force Talon, visiting with the troops at our Terminal High Altitude Defense
those
Site.
Missiles, Ray.
I know.
Look at those missiles.
Bro, can I make a deal with you guys? I'll you know what? I'll let you guys put a THAAD missile thing in the front yard of the house, right? And in fact, if you want to, we can get some of the ladies that do the THAAD thing. They can stay at my house.
Yes.
And that way, at a moment's notice,
to maintain and operate.
We don't need to call them out from anywhere. They're going to be right there. Ooh, the Ruskies are sending stuff over, and they'd be able to go out there and just, in the front yard from my house. They stay in the living room, but then from my house, and then jump right outside and go light things up.
Yes.
I think that's cool, and I'm not going to give the governor a hard time about any of that stuff because this is something that I absolutely support. The people of Guam have lived with a target painted over us ever since. And while we will be happy to do our part here in any upcoming skirmishes, I don't think I speak for everybody. I'm sure there's a couple of wimpy activists out there that say, but wait, can I have a coffee first? But I'm sure that most of the rest of us would be happy to do our part in defense of our island and our nation, Whanogi Tomorrow, against all oppressors, right?
Foreign and domestic.
Yeah. So that's a cool thing. A couple other things. If I have to talk to Doug again about this, I will. This story should piss you off as much as the Adelup says we've got excess funds, so we're giving out raises story. According to documents, Repawak was arrested in December and released 6 days later. This is the guy we already know he's got this Bula rap sheet out there and is alleged to have been involved in the shooting of a 14-year-old girl in the middle of the night within walking distance of my house, which is
true.
That's starting to become alarming. That's nature
a special allegation
of the crime that we've got. Absolutely special. We've got special allegations because you're doing this too close to Ray Gibson's house. New documents related to additional charges against Mesimwan Repawak, a suspect in multiple violent crimes, shows that police already arrested him in December, but he was released 6 days later. 31-year-old Repawak, a.k.a. Ace, was apprehended again Friday after the Guam Police Department launched a search for him in connection with a string of violent crimes, including the shooting of a 14-year-old girl. A grand jury Monday indicted Repawak on new charges connected to alleged crimes from last year. Court documents show that Repawak was apprehended before, as early as December, after he was allegedly found swerving in the street in a stolen truck and trying to conceal a firearm. He allegedly tried to ram a police officer's vehicle with his truck and was also charged with a felony assault and family violence after the arrest. A catch, release, and reoffend report published by the Office of the Attorney General shows that an order of conditional release for Repawak was issued on January the 3rd. All right, here's the suck in this story. Joe Taitano Jr., who was the judge that allowed him this release, this conditional release? And what, pray tell, could those conditions have been? I'll bet they were no more guns. Be home and in bed by 9.
Yeah,
obey
all laws.
Yeah, obey all laws. It's
Maybe
not.
Peter Santos was his attorney.
It's not in this story.
That would get him
Peter,
out fast.
would you please stop defending dirtbags?
He gets them out fast, Ray.
I get it. Justice for all. Innocent until proven guilty, unless you're Trump. But here's the thing: is at some point, I know attorneys, you got to pay back college bills and all that stuff. But I mean, at some point, you just got to look and say, "I'm sorry, I can't defend you." And the guy says, "Is there a conflict?" No, you're a dirtbag. And I live here, and while you might not have done anything that harmed me because of what you were doing, you're perpetrating crimes and shooting people up near Ray Gibson's house. Ray is a personal friend of mine, and I can't. Peter, you're conflicted. You are hereby conflicted. Anybody that is accused of a crime anywhere within the half-mile radius of my house, within walking distance of my house, shall be considered a dirtbag and not worthy of your superior legal skills.
Deport.
I don't know if we can. I don't know if we can. This guy might be Guamanian by the loosest of our standards.
Okay.
So I don't know, but it doesn't say who is the judge that let this guy out on conditional release.
So he can vote in the self-determination.
Oh my God! Yeah. Well, no, I don't think they're going to be. Yeah. You know, you take the good with the bad. You take the good with the bad. All right, here's another story, another Joe Titano story. $220 million GWA Cortec case dispute to drag on. And I don't know. I don't have skin in the fight here just yet. So far, this is not costing me ratepayer money just yet, even though it's clear that GWA, I'm sure, is spending just an incredible, I keep wanting to say blank load of money. In order to defend their position there, and I don't know what kind of position that they've actually got, because the last time I checked, it looked like Cortec was beating them in court on this. So I think it's just one of those. We'll just continue to bear and watch it. You know, and I don't think Donna D did the story today. I wanted to see if she was going to include the language that is now used almost all the time, almost universally with these stories. But there's another story about Evan Montville-Cohen.
Oh, great.
In the news.
Yeah.
And KUAM News, whenever they do a
cautionary
story.
tale? Is it a cautionary tale, Ray?
Yeah, I would say it is. I would say it is. But, you know, it's you pays your monies and you takes your chances. Hope you enjoyed the ride, right? Anyway, 9:57 in Chase. They always refer to him as disgraced radio executive. And as much as I love it's Matsuki, I think, is the one that wrote this story, right? It could have been anybody over at KUAM. But here's the deal: the guy didn't only do radio. I'm sorry, I'm a radio executive, and I don't like being thrown into the same batches. It's like when somebody says a former Marine committed a crime. Da, 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 I'm like, whoa, what does that have to do with anything? Why do we have to pick out the fact that he was at some point in his life a Marine? I'm sure that there were
former club DJ.
Yes, former club DJ, the former chimney sweep. I don't know. Can we not do that, please? There are other people that know him for other jobs that he had aside from radio executive. He was also a salesman in his own company, in his own social media. Can we say disgraced social media salesman? Can we agency owner, social media agency owner? Can we say that instead of disgraced radio executive? Kind of makes it sound like somewhere along the way I will become a disgraced radio executive. There's enough of us out there that are doing questionable things. Disgraced radio executive Ray Gibson. All I ask, if for the grace of God go I, all I ask is that you already have a letter to send to the judge on my behalf. If you need, go find the one that Angel Sablon sent to the judge, which on that mayor case. You remember that one? He sent a really, really good one.
Yeah.
So just take out
He's
whatever.
a good kid.
Just go find one of these. The one that Tony Babauta sent for the same guy, right? Just go and find those. Take out the guy's name, the convict's name, and then put my name and send that to the judge. No need to rewrite all of these Gomen Asai on behalf of my friend letters. All right, I made Joe laugh too much here this morning. Hopefully, I put a smile on your face once or twice, and hopefully, I gave you a couple of things that you went, what did he just say about? I got to break away now because it's time for Fox News. This is The Point.
Gold. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. That's the accusation from federal prosecutors against New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez as his trial gets underway.